Hey!
Hi!
Welcome to Scripts and Giggles with Shoshana.
And Marnie. I have a bone.
Oh.
I have a gripe.
Go on.
I was on the tube today.
Okay.
And it was a busy tube. It's rush hour. People are going home. There are two guys sharing an earpod each.
Okay.
Watching a video, drinking Peronis, like it's a Friday night.
Okay.
Talking at the top of their voices.
Ah!
The whole journey. And I could see people like, do you know the way that British people will be like?
Yeah, just the rolling their eyes, but like not saying anything, but then tutting like under their breath.
Yes. But these were two like white, like mid-20s men.
Okay, but like laddie?
No.
Oh.
Just two dudes having a like conversation.
Okay.
Watching the video, I don't know what the video is about. Just talking really, because I had my music turned up, so I could only hear snatches of their conversation, but I could still hear their voices above my music.
That's a problem, because also like the noise on the underground, like sound of the
Literally,
it's so loud. They've actually talked about it, like the decibels on the train.
Yeah, it's damaging.
It's actually almost gonna be illegal. Like it's that bad. So their voices were above that.
Yeah, it was above that.
And then above your own music.
And above my own music.
Bro.
And the woman next to me was watching the TV show, and at one point she just stopped watching the show, was just like staring at them, because I guess she could barely hear what she was watching over them. And I was like, why is nobody saying anything? And then I thought, if these were two like teenage like black boys or girls, the bus like people's brains would explode. But the privilege that a white man has to just be making the most noise on the tube, and nobody just says, hey, use your inside voice.
Shara Nidrosino.
Yeah, you guys have earpods in, but we can all hear you.
Do you know what? Because in their head, they're
talking above.
They're speaking at normal volume.
It was so irritating. I actually found myself just being like, people don't have etiquette anymore.
No, etiquette doesn't exist anymore. No, not at all. But I also feel like maybe I'm at a stage in my life where I just literally, next stop, I'm getting up my ass, get up my own ass. I'm gonna get up and walk to the next carriage.
But like, why should I have to go through the discomfort of moving?
Yeah, I know. It's just, it's just because I don't think consideration is not a thing anymore. Like people are not considerate.
And on top of that,
the girls are not considerate, the boys are not considerate, no one is considerate.
Follow up to that.
Go on.
And this is relevant to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Men are not chivalrous anymore. They don't hold out doors. They don't pull out chairs. If you drop something, they don't even pick it up. When I was on holiday, me and my sister went to get food. And we sat down waiting for the food to come. And she was like coughing, like she was spluttering. And this guy walked into the shop and then he left, like didn't think anything of it. And then she was like, the coughing stops and she coughed again. The guy came back in. He bought her a bottle of water. Oh,
that was so nice.
To help her clear her throat.
That's so nice.
I said, not in the UK.
Oh, I'm sorry. Again, when you go out of the UK, it's like almost like your brain chemistry changes. That's when you start to be like, oh, is this how the other half lives?
We're not living.
We're not living.
I
think especially when you in the relationship aspect where you're like, the boys just don't give, and then you go out of the country and you're like, wow, these men will be like buying you flowers and speaking so nicely to you, and you're like, what?
I've seen more women help other women carry their buggies up the stairs.
Yeah.
I said, why are the women more chivalrous than the men? The other day, a kid dropped her water bottle, like, in front of me, and I picked it up and I gave it to her, and Mum was like, thank you. And I was like, it's a water bottle. Like, it's in front of me, why would I not pick it up? And you could see other people in the store, like, looking at me, and they're like, wow, she's gone above and beyond. I literally didn't.
It's the bare minimum. I feel like maybe it's a perception thing of like, oh, as a man, if I do something to help someone, it could put me... Let me rephrase this. Like, it may seem inappropriate for me just helping this woman because it may be assumed that I'm trying to hit on her. But I'm not. I'm just trying to be a bit
literally won't be assumed.
But I know, but that's what I mean. If you
help me carry my buggy up the stairs and then you say, have a good day, and you walk off, why would I be like, he's trying to kiss me?
But I think I think some, not all men, have that twisted feeling like, well, everyone loves me. Everyone wants me.
Everyone's gonna date
Hey, with me. Like but I do feel like Chivalrous is dead. Did you watch the latest Pop the Balloon?
I've watched the first, like, 2 guys.
I'm gonna have to give you mercy because I know you'll just come back from holiday.
Why?
Because because this happened later in the episode. The guy that's
this episode that came out yesterday.
The one that came out yesterday.
Yeah. How? We've already watched it already.
It happened. I literally was this morning.
I'm starting to get
off. Yeah. Because it is ridiculous. Okay, I won't spoil it.
Like,
do you want me to spoil it?
No, don't spoil it.
I won't spoil it.
There was
let's just say that the girls have been demanding, the boys have been demanding. No one likes each other.
It's also this. I'm sorry, I'll never get over the sassiness. Chill. Actually, take it down a notch. Take it down a notch.
So harsh.
We could disagree on something and be respectful.
Yeah.
Why you gotta be sassy about it?
Yeah.
And I'm saying that for both the women and the men.
Yeah.
Have some decorum. Let's just. You're outside.
Yeah.
You're outside. People are. You're thinking in your head, yeah, I'm getting one over on this one guy that's here. Meanwhile, there's like 2 million people watching this who are gonna judge you.
Yeah.
Based on the way that you are conducting yourself in the situation. Like, sometimes just have decorum, and that's how I feel about Rochelle. She thought she ate. I think you are not gonna watch this back and feel good about this because it's actually a bit too much. I was with you
to a point,
but that I was looking for a man. I was looking for a real man.
Yeah.
You're like because she's a woman of a certain age. Maybe she doesn't understand that we've moved that conversation. Moved along to be like. Saying what a real man and a real man isn't saying what a real man is or a real man isn't is actually like incredibly reductive. And
it also becomes almost close to toxic masculinity.
It is toxic masculinity.
So,
and it literally is.
Like, we're going to talk a lot about a couple of dating shows, and I have been trying to formulate what I've been feeling about the dynamic between women and men, and also the idea now that there was a pendulum where it was like, we are seeing really strong women and we're supporting them. Of course, we want to support these women who are looking for their partner, but it's almost getting to the point where it's feeling very, very toxic, and it's very consistent. It's across MAFS and Love Is Blind. Like, it's just
something
and
is in the water this year.
Such in the water, and it's actually disturbing. And okay, I mean, we're going to talk about it very soon. But I was watching. I made a point. I was watching a 2.5 hour. Podcast episodes with Trevor Noah and on the Diary of the CEO, and there was a section where they talked about like what is happening between the status and the progression between women and men in society, where like women are, and has been for a long time, more educated, in higher paying jobs. They are, some are heads of their own households, or the breadwinners in their households. So the dynamic that used to be there when the men was the head of the house, and some are, that has changed because women are outperforming men in aspects of society, and there is a segment of men who are not, or who are potentially aimless, which is a point they made. I'm not describing them as that, but there is that some men are training behind, and I feel like the dynamic between women and men, you can kind of see in these dating shows where like it almost feels like, yeah, some women are outpacing men, and you can see in the dynamic of the relationship, and it's almost like because they're expecting the man to be more successful as has previously been, they're not happy with it, and therefore they will almost vilify the man in themselves. And I'm not trying to stick up for men. That is not I don't want to do that.
Sounds like you're trying to stick up
That's
for
what I mean.
men.
I'm not trying to, but I do feel like we are seeing it, whether with Hannah and Nick, whether with Rochelle and Orson, whether with even Polly and Alex to a degree. Like, I'm not going to stretch.
You mean Holly?
Holly and Alex. Oh no, Polly and
Adam.
Polly and Adam, to a degree. I'm not like I don't. But there's a thin chance. But like, there's just something that is just off. Like, it just felt real. And Alex and Tim, like even though I have a feeling that I have my own points about Tim, but like it's just something was off like this year or this period of dating shows, and it's just not been as pleasant to watch. Best believe there are still men on these shows that are acting wild, and we will talk about it. But like, I think seeing how many female villains we're seeing, and I hate to use the word female, but villains who are the women
this lesson's female. I was like, why are you rephrasing it? That's what you mean.
You know why? Because saying the word females feels also so punchy, but like it just didn't sit well with me at all this season, and I don't know. We're going to talk about it anyway.
I think you've articulated that really well, because I haven't got past just feeling like this. There's something very eerie about this, something very end of days, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Like, and I think you're equating it to like their professional and social statuses might be what it is leading to that imbalance.
Yeah.
And then just to piggyback off that, I wonder if those men who are the villains, you're jobless. Get a job. This is why male villains exist. You need to work.
Yeah.
Why have you stopped hunting and gathering? Why have you stopped it? Like, go get a job. You're telling me you wanna fuck me without a condom, but I'm telling you I can't get birth control. You're telling me you don't want to get pregnant.
Oh my god.
Do the maths.
It's just
Get a job.
Yeah.
If he was working, you wouldn't be stressed about this.
Yeah.
Because you would be going to work, tired, come home, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Not be telling me. Well, I'm just saying, if you don't hug me every day, scary.
Yeah, it is
scary, because that is literally reverse that, and you'd be like, oh,
that's the thing.
A needy woman and her man who's just trying to get his stuff done. He doesn't think it's weird for his partner to be like, I'm sick, I just want a minute to myself.
Yeah.
And for him to be like, hold me.
Yeah.
I need to be held.
Yeah. The gender balance. Honestly, the gender balance is off, and you can see.
What do you get when you date a man with a Jerry Cole? Please.
It's not the it's the rat tails as well. Like,
please,
the multiple ones.
Please,
honestly.
Please.
And the reason I brought the pop and balloon part is because there's a moment where there's something that's gonna be chivalrous, but then also that backfires. So it's like almost like, what is the right thing to do now? Like, what do we expect men to do? What do we expect women to do? What is the right thing to do in dating today?
The truth in some situations is you... now I feel like one of those male podcasters.
Oh, God.
If you was hot and you did the chivalrous thing, she'd like it. But because you're not hot... But if you really think about it, if some guy's been staring at you all the way through your tube journey, making you uncomfortable, and then you drop your umbrella, he picks it up, you're scared for your life. You're not thinking, oh, he's just trying to be polite. As opposed to if you're reading a book and you look up and there's this like beautiful man across from you, then as you get up, you accidentally bump into him and he helps you.
I'm like, oh.
And now it's a meet cute. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
honestly,
it's the narrative that you've got playing in your head sometimes. I do think it is possible to be chivalrous. And I also think it is possible that men aren't chivalrous now, because actually the whole time that they were being chivalrous, they were expecting something.
Yeah.
So now that, yes, you can't ask for the thing that you used to be able to ask for before, they're like, well, why should I help you with your thing?
That's true.
If it's not going to lead to you giving me your number, I'm not going to help you. And I'm actually just going to stare at my phone. And honestly, it's actually really... I think of myself as quite a progressive, liberal person. But I've been really, like, since I've come back from my holiday, I've been really thinking, like, I do find it kind of disgusting when a man doesn't just offer to help with something.
Oh, yeah.
You see, we're moving offices, and I took a bunch of stuff from our old office.
Oh, fam.
I got a whole chair.
Honest, yeah. Yes.
I got a lovely little reading chair.
Yeah.
And my colleague was like, oh, I'll help you carry it to the car.
Oh, that's nice.
Out the other side... The cab driver has got out the car, stood there while I have delivered everything to my house. And I'm not trying to say he should have helped me carry my stuff to the house, right? Even if he'd offered, I probably would have said no, just out of courtesy of like, oh no, I don't want you to trouble yourself. But to just stand there and watch me lugging this stuff up and down the stairs, and not even a comment, not anything. It's just like, oh, you guys have become so comfortable with the idea of women taking care of themselves. Like, what purpose do you provide in this situation?
It's almost we've girl bossed too hard.
Literally, we girl bossed too hard.
Way too close to the sun.
And now we must pay the price. Now we must carry our own shopping.
That happened to me one time. Like, I had so much shopping with me, literally dragging it to the cab. And then the guy didn't even help me. I put it into the boot. And I was like, wow, this is bad. I already knew, but from the minute I sat into that Uber, I was like, I'm rating him, like, I'm rating him so low. He's getting so low. It's not like, so for instance, if he had like, oh, I have a back problem or something like that, like, there's no way, it's fine. Like, I understand it, I get it. Like, I would not, like, penalise anyone for that. But the fact, like, I know that you can stand and walk and you're okay. And you didn't say, and there's no caveat. Like, I'm expecting you as a cab driver, when we were in the mini cabs days before Uber, like, the African dads, the mini cab drivers will come and help you regardless. And this time, when he came and dropped it at my house, so it was like one of those automatic buttons to open the boot and then I could put it down. I just let that boot open. I grabbed my stuff.
What?
I see, that's what I mean. And then I went back into my house. I said, and he looks at me. I looked at me looking at him. And I said, peace. Honestly, because like if you want Chivalry to be dead, fine. But if I don't expect, or don't be surprised if I'll be sassy about it.
I'm getting sassy about it. I a slightly more serious note, because like the examples we're giving is like we can carry on things, but I've also noticed that because I take my grandma to the hospital, and in order to get her to the hospital she uses a wheelchair, and there are cab drivers that will sit in their cab, like you said, press the boot button, watch me wheel her to the passenger side door, get her up out of the wheelchair, get her into the cab, which is often raised off the ground, so even that is a real effort. Fold up the wheelchair, pack the wheelchair in their thing, shut the door and get in the car. And I will rate those people down. Because I think that if I was driving a car and I could see, there's only two people and this requires, it would just be helpful if I could be helpful. And I just sat in my car and I was just looking actually bored and or annoyed.
Yeah, like you're wasting my time kind of thing. Like, it's
actually crazy. I've noticed like there are people that will instantly get out their car to help us. And it's often people who will then refer to my grandma as auntie or mama or like, and then there will be people who will just sit their ass in that car, even though they look like us. We'll be sat in that car like, this is annoying to me actually. If I'd known you was going to come in the wheelchair, I wouldn't even come. That kind of energy.
It's not even just chivalry that they think just consideration.
Yeah.
Just human
decorum.
Kindness, decorum and kindness, and just being a human being and being a citizen of, like, what's it called, a good citizen. It's like a good citizen or a good Samaritan, that just feels like it's dead, because there's so much as individualism and everyone just thinking about themselves or thinking about like what I have to do, and just forgetting that like there's so many people around you that need help. And sometimes you need to take yourself out and just take a step back and be like, look, whatever your problem is, bigger picture, it's probably not as big as your neighbour next to you may be really going through it and you don't know because you're so in your own head.
I think that actually bleeds moves quite effortlessly into our bigger topics this week, which are dating shows. And the fact that because everybody's in it for themselves, they do not treat each other with kindness.
Exactly. What are we starting with?
Let's start with Love Is Blind, because we haven't covered her at all. No. And then we can do an update on where we're at with MAFS.
Yeah. That was a very nice segue, by the way.
As we were coming to it, it's like, thematically, this has worked out quite well.
It does, yeah. Honestly, that was not planned. That was not planned. Okay, so let's get on to our reviews of the week.
Love Is Blind.
Yeah.
Season
7. So, for context, Money was on holiday.
Money was living it up. Money mentioned it.
Yeah,
Money mentioned that she's living
her best life. And honestly, like, I don't even want to disturb you during this holiday about Love Is Blind, because like I just want you to enjoy your break, rather than me going, friend, twin, where have you been? Because I'm like, it can't just be me. And we'll talk about this season, but
oh no, I agree. At one point I did message you because I was like, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Like, this is getting out of hand. What is happening?
Yeah.
And I don't know, and this is the same for MAFS as well. The editors are making some choices that are leading to the show actually being hard to follow as a viewer. So many of the breakups, which we are about to discuss, happen from like a non sequitur. You're just sitting there being like, have I missed something? Yeah. And it feels like there's something I've missed is pretty big.
Yeah.
And you guys are just expecting me to be like in this conversation, but honestly it's taking me out of the situation, because I'm like,
what is going on?
What's happened?
last one just before the finale, that one
100%.
that one threw me
and
off.
it went on for so long.
And it was like, I don't know what is going on. I even rewind. I had to rewind. I was like, did I miss something? Oh no. It literally just went end of one scene, smash cut into a brand new scene. I have to be honest, like, we've watched every single season of Love is Blind since it started. We reviewed a lot of these for this pod, but like, this is my least favourite.
Yeah.
Or up there with my least favourite. And I think some of that is to do with the editing, and another part is to do with the vetting. But
yeah,
like,
the casting.
And
the editing.
I don't know who is on the editing team. If it's the same production company, they've been doing this for 7 seasons. You have international formats, and the international formats actually beating the US. Like, the storylines just didn't make sense, and it bugs me because I had so much hope at the beginning. So much. I
had less hope in the beginning. I actually found it, this season I found it a little bit harder to get into it. Like, usually the pods I'm like fully invested, and it's the after bit I'm like, this is boring in comparison to like, because I think the thing that I like about Love is Blind is the potential, right? Like, in the pods, all these different people are talking, and they're like, who's going to match up with who, and like, who's going to make it out the other side, and how they're going to feel when they see each other. Like, that part is very exciting to me. And then post that, it's like, will it work?
Yeah. This
season, I found the pods, I was like, I'm not inspired by any of these matches, if I'm being completely honest. And so then to come out of the pods and it's just been like drama non-stop. I'm like, I never even saw it for you guys in the first place, but this is crazy.
I think when in the first batch, like in the pods out of the pods, I was kind of excited, even though I didn't know who would be like definite yeses. I wrote a couple of like mini predictions, but I was like, I'm not 100% sure. This could be a yes, this could be a no. Just using the learnings that we've seen from the past like 6 seasons, like this could go a certain way. I was really excited because there were 4 black women in the first selection, and it wasn't like 4 black women like who were the exact same type of character. It was like 4 very different types of characters, like from Ashley, who was like, you know, Southern Christian girl who just wants to find her like God-fearing man, all the way to like Marissa, who we can best describe as a woo-woo girl. if you listen to our review of Nicole, she's a woo-woo girl. In my head, that's how she came across. And then you had like then you had Alex, and you had Monica, and it just felt like, oh, we have a real like diverse range of women. And we talked about in previous seasons where not even just Love is Blind, but just dating shows in general, like black women do get like overlooked,
and
the shortest end. And so that's why I was excited, but I wasn't like, apart from Ashley and Tyler, we will talk about, at the point of like episode 7, before all the news came out, like I was like, this is a definite, this is like Brett and Tiffany from 2 seasons ago. I was like, yeah, I can see the wedding. I know I'm going to be happy when I see this wedding. I know they're going to be a yes. They were like my only kind of proper definites. But like, yeah, that the excitement I had of just the diversity of the cast dwindled throughout while I was watching the pods, because I was like, there's a lot going on, and the episodes are too long.
Yeah.
Like there was just so much. It felt like oversaturated, and also it dwindled as the series went on, because they all broke up.
Maybe that is what was making it hard for me with the pods this season. Is it like it felt like we were in the pods for a really long time, but like not because people were going back and forth when like all of these love triangles. There was basically only one love triangle, which honestly was the weirdest love triangle to me, because it was the weirdest array of people. Like, I feel like in the past when there's been love triangles, the people have been kind of similar. Like, when you think about, like, Barnett and his wife and Jessica, it was like, he could have been happy with either one. He could have gone on this journey with either one of these women.
Also, side note, Amber and Barnett, they're gonna have a baby.
Congratulations to one of the only real couples on this damn show.
On.
I saw a tweet today that said, 3 couples in 7 seasons, hang it up, the experiment doesn't work. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Yeah.
It's so
3 couples.
There was no, it's more than that, because there was that season where like 4 couples got engaged, and they're still pretty much together. The one with
You said pretty much together.
They're together. It was the black guy and the white woman.
I don't know, right?
Oh my god, I can see his name. Kwame.
Yeah.
It's not Kwame.
It is.
It's called, thank
Yeah, I
God.
think so.
I didn't want to just start making up some random African name. Kwame and his wife.
Who was part of the casting?
Part of the casting.
Flop.
So absolute flop.
Fire her.
At the beginning, I was like, oh, so the flop black women must be because, Kwame must be inspiring. Like, yeah. And then...
She said, 4 black women because we're about to cast the devils. Some of the darkest devils you've ever seen in your life.
Oh my god. And then it was the couple that didn't live together for like the first year.
Yes, I know who you mean. The ballerina girl.
Yeah, and then the one... What's the name of the guy and the girl? And they have a baby. They were the first baby.
Yes, I know who you mean.
And then
she's Jewish.
And
he was like a southern guy who grew up poor. She grew up rich, and that was their big conflict. Was are they going to be able to
do it?
Yeah, and then they just had a baby. I know who you mean.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, that because I can actually see their faces, and it's so annoying. I just can't remember their name.
I really want to say her name was Alexia.
I don't think you're far off though, but I need to find out what her name is. Zach and Bliss.
Oh, I know. I thought you were talking about the other people.
Zach and Bliss. They're the first baby.
No, the other people had a baby as well, didn't they?
Oh yes. No, I don't think they're that season.
Yeah, they're the ones I'm talking. Oh, that's who I thought you were talking about.
Yes. The southern guy and then the
Jewish girl.
Jewish girl. And she's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Can't remember what her name is.
I think it's
Alexia and Cameron. No, Cameron. Brennan.
Yeah.
That's it. Brennan and Alexa. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah. So, perfectly honest. Yeah, you're right. Because actually, they're the only couples that are still together. I think from series 3. Then you have the 2 from series 1. No one from season 2. 1 from season 5, which was the one with the Lydia and the other guy. 6. Then the 3 from that season 4, the magical year, and then that's it. Maybe the experiment don't work. The experiment does not work. It may not be 3. It may be more than 3 couples, but in 7 seasons, it don't work.
This season, the experiment didn't work, and the experiment didn't work because they cast people who shouldn't be in the experiment.
No.
I think. Well, we might as well start getting into it, but a lot of people. Let's just get into it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's start about the. Actually, I'm gonna at this point because before I forget it. I do think this show is designed for the woo woo girls and the scientists.
Scientists are up. Scientists are up.
Oh yeah, because you know why? Because I've caught Cameron, series 1, scientist.
Scientists are up on this show. They're a little bit more in their logical.
They're logical because they get the whole idea that this is an experiment. Back to the conversation we had, which we kind of had half off pod, half back on pod, was like a couple of episodes ago when we talked about MAFS. It was like you do have an emotional and logical brain when it comes to relationships, and I really feel this show in particular highlights that you definitely need. You need both, but you need. Oh, actually, no. I'm with you. You need to skew either. You need to skew heavily in one of them to really be successful.
I think I think you and the person you're matched with has to think the same way that you think. Otherwise, it won't work.
It won't work. You can't have someone that is emotional and someone who's logical.
That's what's happening with Marissa and Ramses right now. Because she's like, I love you. And we can figure stuff out. And he's like, no, this doesn't make sense.
He's also been married before and divorced. He's seen how it doesn't work.
But it didn't. But then you. Because you chose me. And now we. And all of a sudden.
But you sure? Okay. So yeah, I just feel like you need to be in 2 camps. And yeah, you're right. You have to be your partner has to be compatible in that same camp.
Because I would say for Cameron and
Lauren,
I think Lauren is probably more emotional of the 2 of them. But he was also emotional. I think the difference between Cameron and I think for all the couples that were successful, I think they came in there knowing what they were looking for.
Yeah.
And what they were looking for wasn't necessarily a physical type, but it was things like, I've got a list of emotional requirements from my partner, or a list of like practical requirements from my partner. Can you cook? Can you drive? Do you have a job? Do you have a 401k? Do you have a relationship with your parents? Things like that. That meant that like it was very easy for him to figure out, of this pool of women, I think it's you.
Yeah.
And then focus on getting to know that person.
And that's it, yeah.
People are on here going off vibes.
Yeah. And vibes alone.
Just going off vibes. Because what do you mean? You've agreed to marry this person and then you're like, I hate the military.
Oh yeah, because to me that is there's so many conversations that should have been had in that pod. We talk about this every season. Conversations that you know are fundamental deal breakers. You don't have it in the pod, but you come outside and be like, well.
And these are the same people. I remember my therapist actually said this to me, and I was like, oh, you know, you go on dates and like the aim is to just like see if you two vibe, right? You don't want to go on the date and be like, I'm looking for a husband. That's gonna put people off. And she was like, but if that's what you're looking for, why would you not say that? And at the time I was like, because it's like not cool, right?
Yeah.
But then I went away and I like thought about it, and I was like, I feel like what she's saying is, you are not actually doing anyone a service by pretending you don't want what you want, right? So going on the date and saying this, oh, let's just focus on vibes, just focus on vibes, is not going to change the fact that at some point you're going to say, I want to get married, and that person's going to say, I'm looking for something casual, and the fact that you vibed for 8 dates is not going to change that. And I think a lot of people are in that mindset of like, obviously when you first meet someone, you don't know if you want to be whatever.
You don't want to rock the boat, you know. You don't want to scare them off by telling them what you want.
And I agree to some extent. Like, I do think that going on a date is not you going there telling that person, are you going to marry me or not? But you are supposed to be going on there to figure out that's someone that you want to be with. And if that is something that you care about, then it should be front and centre. If you're if being a man of God is something that's important to you, waiting 8 dates is not going to change whether or not that person is religious. So you're deciding to bury that thing is doing yourself a disservice and eventually doing that person a disservice, because they're going to turn around to you and be like, you've never mentioned it before. I didn't think it was important to you. Now suddenly you're saying if we don't get married in the church, blah, 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 blah. I feel shortchanged. You feel shortchanged. And we've now got feelings involved, and now we're going to get hurt. So just be yourself.
Be yourself and be honest. And I'm an advocate, and I've been thinking about this. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm quite quick to like rip the band-aid off, or just like cut something quickly, so that I know that part of that is more of like a protection mechanism. Like, I don't want to get hurt. So if you tell someone the truth, they don't like it, or you at least you've laid everything out on the table and be like, well, there's something else. There's something to hide. I'm not talking about relationship. I'm just talking about in general. Like, you just made it very clear. This is it. If they don't like it, it is what it is. Sometimes it feels like, oh, I may hurt the other person, but actually maybe you're not hurting the other person. You're creating a very clear boundary for yourself, and also preventing yourself getting hurt. So like later down the line, you're in a year. I think I heard this like dilemma on the receipts where the girl had been dating a guy for a year, and then found out that he was atheist. But they never had the conversation about religion, but she really realised that religion was important to her, and you know, she wants to get married in the church, and she wants, you know, about raising kids and stuff like that. And then she waited another year, and at the year 2 she then broke up with him, and she was saying, I'm heartbroken, what do I do? Sorry.
It's quite simple.
It is.
It's quite simple. You have to ask yourself how important it is to you then.
Yeah.
Right? I find it weird if something is important to you that you were able to go a year without mentioning it in the first place. Like, I went on a date with a guy, and I work in TV, I love television, I love film. So I think I'd mentioned like a film or something, and he was like, oh, I've never heard of that. And I was like, oh, okay. And later on we were talking about something else. I was like, oh, it's like this. He's like, I don't know what that is. And then like, very casually I was like, oh, like, do you watch a lot of films? And he was like, not really. And I was like, okay. And I'm not a superficial person. I was like, that doesn't matter. But over time I was like, but it does.
Yeah.
It actually does matter to me. Yeah. I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. I think he will find someone who he loves, and they will have a good time, and they will watch whatever it is that they watch or they don't watch. It's going to be fine. But actually, it took like that person saying, oh, I don't like that thing, for me to go,
that's important.
That is important to me. And then the next time we had a conversation, well, actually towards the end of the conversation, I think I mentioned something like, I think you should watch X, right? Because if that person then, the next time I saw them was like, didn't watch it because I don't care about that stuff. That would have been a really easy, like, okay, well, that's something that's important to me, so if you can't be asked to do it, then that tells me a lot about you. And they actually had made an effort to to just talk more about those things, or like look into that stuff more. So there are some things that it's possible to get past, but you also know when you mention it to that person, by the way that they react, whether it's going to be something that you get past.
That's very true.
And it's not going to be, okay, give me another year and then we'll see if I want to change my mind. No, you obviously don't care about it.
If you have a deal breaker that's important to you, like, it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not a bad thing to just uphold your own deal breakers. Like, yeah, this is a deal breaker to me. And if there's like you said, there may be some deal breakers that you didn't realize, but it will come up and be like, look, be honest, like, actually, it would be nice if, that you watch a bit, or you watch X, Y, and Z, or if, like, faith is important. And if they react in a certain way, that's your answer, and, move from there. But these are, in an experiment like Love is Blind, let's be for real, you have 10 days in those pods.
What else are you doing?
You need, like, yes, yes, it's good to have some vibey dates. Like, you want to make sure that you can laugh with the person, you have a good time 100%. With the person. Like, especially in this kind of, like, artificial environment where you can't see each other and you're literally, the vibes are coming from your voice alone and the way you giggle and the way you joke and the way you communicate. But you need to also understand that if this is going to marriage, which everyone in the pod should expect that this is going to end in marriage. Like, people talking about, oh, well, we can see how things go, or, like, okay, back to MAFS, when Casper's like, oh, well,
this would be a great opportunity for me to figure out how I'm going to be with my
future partner. Like, it just, people are not taking this thing seriously, and that is what is losing the integrity of the show, and why we loved it so much at the beginning, because it was like a whole bunch of people. Yes, there were some unserious people, we need some drama, but, like, the people that are still together, they were like, look, I'm in. Like, I'm all in. You may have financial problems. You may have this. You may have X, Y, and Z. But I'm all in. And I think that it felt like that the marriage aspects and that stake was missing this season.
Yeah. I think that there were, as usual, there are always the things that people vibe on that you're like, oh yeah, this is going to end badly. Yeah. Like, it's just goofy that you're like, oh my god, my granddad's name was Alex too. Like, that is not a reason to marry someone. Okay, like, be for real.
I love the thing though that Taylor and Garrett, all their parents got married on the 13th.
That's not a thing for us to get married.
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's cute.
It is cute, but I love, like, it's like a cute thing where it's like, you're out of the pause and you're about to get married. Like, oh, we're getting married on the 13th. My parents got married on the 13th, and your parents got married on the 13th. The 13th.
Anyway. Anyway, are you black? Because if you turn out to be black, I don't want to marry you. Like,
the fact that you manipulated me into not telling me that you were actually not white.
Like, that's the thing. Everybody's talking about Garrett and
Taylor.
I really like Taylor.
We can start with them. I really like Taylor too.
Everyone's talking about Garrett and Taylor and, oh, the only real couple. You guys have very conveniently forgotten that this man said, I am scared that you are being manipulative because you haven't said if you're black or you're Asian or Latino. Or what do you look like?
You have not told me what box you tick.
Are you white? Are you white?
So yeah, when he said, like, I've never dated anyone who's not white, that
was a threat.
And to me, we've talked about this. Like, you don't want to be anyone's guinea pig.
100%.
Or fetish. So I would have run for the hills. But she probably saw something more than that, or heard something more than I did.
I wouldn't have run for the hills.
Yeah.
My thing that would have made me run for the hills is I'm feeling manipulated.
Yeah, that would.
Because what are you implying?
We wouldn't have got to that conversation because I would have left for the hills.
What are you implying? That I'm hiding my race because I want to jump scare you when we get to the...
Yeah. Also, please... haven't we already agreed that the experiment is not to discuss
100%,
how we look?
Which is what she said. I'm not going to tell you because if I tell you my ethnicity, you're going to have an idea of what I look like. So just go based off my voice. And he was sitting there streaming, being like, "What am I going to do if the door's open and she is black? I don't want that. I need to prepare. She needs to tell me now."
I think the whole thing. I mean, it was a very good idea. Like her, withholding her mum's name, because you're right. Her mum's name would have given it all away. I mean,
because I think some people use that. Right?
Yeah.
We'll go in there and be like, "So my mum's name's Shanice, and my dad's name is Benson."
No, I best believe.
You're fishing for clues.
I would fish.
What do you eat?
Yeah, I'd be like
on Thanksgiving.
When Kanye said that people in Paris, what
would you usually say?
Yeah, what would you have
Would you say silence or would you say nigger? With a hard R. That is so
absolutely wild. The thing, it's hard because I was.
Imagine if you were in the pod and you didn't know whether the person was black or white, and they were like, "My favorite Kanye West song is Niggas in Paris," niggas in Paris, wouldn't you be like, oh my god?
No, I'll be like, okay, you must be black. And then I will get the jump scare. The jump scare.
The door shuts.
The door's open. Huh.
Sorry.
You're not Travis Kelce.
Let's go back a step. Do you remember when you said... No, because hold up. Hold on. I don't even think they would air that.
No, that would. We would have got caught. They would not. That would be on the cutting room floor. But the editors would be having keep right out there. The Netflix commissioners we having a laugh with that.
That would be so funny. That I feel like
I'm sure it's happened.
My favourite songs. Some of my favourite songs are "Niggas in Paris."
What's it called?
Song with the N word in it.
There's so many. We should know.
Yeah, there should be more.
There definitely are, but F the police.
Okay,
I know, but it's not the N word, but like it just. I'm trying to think of songs that like.
When you listen to this Busta Rhymes song where he says, "Don't that shit make my," do you say people or niggas? I need to know. I need to know.
I'm trying to think, what other questions would you be able to decipher? So me, one of my biggest things, like, what's a typical Sunday? And it's not about being black.
That's so you.
It's not.
I want to hear that you won't to church.
It's not about being black, but it's just for me to be able to tick some of the things that are important to me. Like, what's your typical Sunday? When you say God is good all the time, what do you say after that?
I'd be like...
And you all thought it all the time. God is good.
What would be my question to try and suss people out? What do you think? What are your feelings on Supermodel?
And then what is Supermodel?
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
When
cross that one out.
When you wash, do you let the water skim down?
Do your hair and then let that
shampoo run down your body, or like? What do you actually use to wash yourself? If you were making me a meal, I want you to go into detail. What spices would you be using? I'm sorry. Spices are a good one. Because when you say, are you salt, pepper, done?
Oh, I think I would be like, what's the song that gets you on the dance floor?
Ooh.
And if it's anything like 100 Miles.
Taylor Swift.
I'm just,
Adele.
This is going to be a big no for me, actually. Because I think that's important. I need to know that the music at the wedding is going to be...
What's your karaoke song? That could also be good.
But I feel like your karaoke song is a song that you like to sing. Like, I think I've never done karaoke, but I think if I ever did karaoke, I would do Genie in a Bottle.
That's a great song.
But what would that tell you about me?
No, it wouldn't give me away.
Grew up in the 2000s.
Yeah, it wouldn't give it away. No, it wouldn't. Like, if you said something like, I was singing Crazy in Love, baby. Actually, that could be
Crazy in Love by Beyonce. Which I wouldn't.
I wouldn't do it. It's hard.
I would never do a Beyonce song.
I would do Whitney. You know I'm black.
You also can't do Whitney.
At all.
I'm doing a Jennifer Lopez song.
Now that is hard because you could be anyone. Because you could be Ashanti or Meghan Trainor.
You could be literally
anyone. Two artists that J-Lo has stolen vocals from.
You could be literally anyone.
Honestly. I'm trying to think what other things. What do you call your grandma? Actually, yeah, no. So what do you call your auntie?
Auntie.
Oh crap. Oh no, what if they say they call them by their first name? That would tell me.
No one ever. No.
There's
You're actually no. I would say if you bump into a family friend.
Oh yes, sorry. That's
the street.
Yeah.
Can't remember her name. What are you gonna call her? Well, actually no, because then it sounds gonna make.
Yeah.
What is? How are you referring to that person? That was clunky, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Basically, are you giving the respect of auntie?
Have you ever called your mum a bitch? Actually, that's the question. I'm actually not joking. I would ask that question. Have you ever called your mum a bitch? Because that would tell me a lot about you.
Oh, so much.
And it's a hard no.
Actually, there's so many layers to that. It's not even just like race or culture. It's like how you treat women, how you think about family, the female authority in your life, a female authority in general. Layers. That's a great question.
Because I'm telling you, I would actually put my savings down. That no black human being.
Alex. No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
Alex from MAFS, I'm talking about. Alex from MAFS. He wouldn't. He called
everyone
else.
But his mum a bitch.
Yeah.
But to call his mum a bitch?
No. She would descend on him.
Your mum could have literally burnt your room to the ground and you'd still be like, why did you do that, mum?
Mummy.
That would be like, you bitch.
Mummy, why?
Literally, a bitch.
No, I think that would be the end. So I don't know. There's so many questions that we could decipher, but I like Taylor, and I like the way that she navigated Garrett.
Yeah.
And I feel like Taylor's a woman that Garrett needs in his life.
Yeah, I feel like the two of them make a good couple.
Same.
And I think they will probably be fine.
Yeah.
I do think he's punching.
Oh, hard punch.
Punching. So even that stupid question of like, oh, I need to know if she's white. You're still punching. You would have been punching regardless, babe.
Yeah, and also...
What difference would it make if she's white? You would have been punching.
Yeah, and okay, so Taylor is half... I can't remember the Asian side. She's half Asian. I can't remember which country. And half Caucasian. So she actually is a bit white passing. Yeah, and I think I definitely was seeing things online. Is like, do you think that Garrett was more accepting because she was white passing?
I would love to know what that experience would have been like.
Same.
Had she been darker skinned, had she been more Asian in appearance.
Yeah.
I think to be fair, I think she looks Asian, but maybe that's because I've known women who are mixed race and like as in half Chinese or half Japanese. So like actually the way that she looks quite familiar to me.
Yeah.
But I would love to know, or had she not been Asian, had she been Latino, had she been black, had she been, or South Asian even, I would love to know. Because people were saying online, like even like his mother's reaction to her felt a bit like they were all a bit nervous because she's not white. I think that's obviously when we're projecting a lot. We don't know anything about his parents. And I think it would be a shock if your child came to you and said, I met this person 15 days ago and I'm marrying them in 10 days. Like, I would also be upset. What the hell? Did I do something wrong? Why can't you find a wife in a normal way?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Garrett's parents were going to come to the wedding, so I was glad to see that they did come. And also glad to kind of see that, well, one of the big, like, points of contention between the couple was whether Garrett will be open to moving to San Francisco, where Taylor's parents are from, and the whole family I think is based in San Francisco. For context, Series 7 is based in DC, so that's basically the other side of the US. So it was, I was surprised. I said that I actually predicted that they would say yes at the altar, but I thought that the big thing, if there was going to be a no, it would come from Garrett, because he was like, I don't want to leave my family. But he kept on saying throughout the experiment, like, I'm actually open to moving. Like, I understand this is a responsibility. You know, I want to be, you know, for my wife, I would do this. And he can always find work and stuff like that. So, and towards the end, after they had a little blip where he texted, the ex-girlfriend text
him, and then he responded, but then he said he didn't respond.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't say he didn't. He just never mentioned that he responded. And then later on he mentioned that he responded. It was all very, like, it was weird that he... lied about that, but it sounded like he wasn't trying to be malicious. He just didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, and the good thing that they did is they just had a very hard conversation about it, and it was off camera. Like, she was like, they spoke the whole night after that situation, and I think it was probably a bit more. I mean, it was a serious conversation, a serious issue. But I think it was even made more serious because we had just come off the back of Monica and Stephen, where, like, not even a similar thing, but, like, Stephen sexting another woman.
Which we'll get to.
Which we will. So I feel like the issues and the roadblocks that they had to overcome happened because there was a lot of communication, and they just felt mature. Like, it felt like a very, well, relative... I'm just talking about Taylor. Taylor comes across mature. Taylor comes across, like, to the point I mentioned before, like, she's outpacing men. Like, you can tell, like, she has been the strongest person in her previous relationships, and she knows exactly what she wants. And I just love that she has a very clear idea of who she is. Even her wedding dress, like, I was looking at her, like, the wedding dress that she chose, and even the style, and even just she was wearing, like, Converses as they were doing, like, their like dance. I know it's not about the wedding, but, like, it just gave me a whole idea, like, Taylor was very cool, but she also just knows very much who she is, and she's not traditionalist at all. She just knows who she is, and I think that's probably attractive to Garrett outside of the racing, because, like, Taylor's not going to put up with nonsense, and I think he needs that.
Yeah, I wish them the best. I do think that the racing was weird, and I'm sure that they've had a conversation about that. you know, I've spoken to people who are actually half Asian and half white as well, and it feels quite often like their own fetishization is like that. When you're in it, it's hard to see it. And actually, sometimes when you start thinking about even that whole concept, you're suddenly looking at your partner being like, and like, but then because you're half white, you're like, maybe it's fine. Maybe in the same way that like being mixed, your proximity to whiteness gives you privilege. Sometimes it makes you think you're above a thing, right? So maybe for Taylor, it's like, oh, it was nothing. I don't even really acknowledge it because like I'm half white, so you can't fetishize me. And it's like, but you actually, you still can be. But yeah, they seem really happy together, and they do suit each other. I think outside of that comment, I do think they made a good match, and I would have been rooting for them. But like, I don't know, from that point, it made me feel like, and I do think I do think that the show made efforts to show how cute they are and how much they seem to suit each other. I was just like, but why did he say that?
It's important that they show that.
Yeah, it is important because it was weird.
It was odd. It was odd.
It was weird.
It was. And going back to that point, Taylor and Garrett, both scientists, nerds, and it worked. Next couple, Ashley and Tyler.
I just...
God.
This is a perfect instance of the editing as well. Everything's going swimmingly with them. We're like, 2 episodes away from the wedding?
Yeah.
And suddenly they're sitting on the couch. She's like, I can't believe what you've just told me. We're like, what's he just told her? What's he just told her?
Yeah.
I'd had this spoiled for me online as well, but he was like, "Oh, I was a sperm donor to 3 kids." Actually, because of the way it was spoiled online, I was expecting the story to be different.
Same.
And so when I heard that, I was like, I'm not really sure what is the issue here, because if you're if you donate sperm, and they happen to contact you at one point and say, by the way, your sperm has been used. What are you supposed to do about that?
Yeah, that I understand. And actually, I think that was a previous season where someone was that a woman that Bartista's she had donated eggs.
Yeah.
But and I don't know if he used that against her.
He did in the end.
So yeah.
And so that in and of itself, I was trying to like rack my brain for like, why would you be so upset about that? Like, it's not like he's saying he had 3 kids. That he should be at home taking care of, and instead he's on the experiment. But she seemed really upset about it, and I get it. Why didn't you say it? I guess. But why would you? Honestly, I think it would not cross my mind to mention it.
I think
if it was me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard because I got her perspective on it. I think it was something that it would have been beneficial for her to know in the pods, because they're spoken about children quite a lot in the pods. He seemed super eager about the whole like idea of
post the pods as well.
Post the pods, like when we're gonna have kids, you know, when we get married, our first child, like our children's names. It's like
weird. That was weird actually, and I agree with you. Even as I'm thinking about it now, you do need to tell your partner something like that, because if one day we get a knock on the door and it's like an 18-year-old who's like, "Hi, you're my dad," I don't want to be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" We'll be like, "Oh yeah, we kind of always knew that this was going to come, and welcome to our home and meet your siblings and whatever." Like, you do need to get into that mindset. So I understand he should have told her. He definitely should have told her when they were having conversations about children.
Yeah,
feels weird that you wouldn't.
Yeah,
but then the story, according to the internet, and honestly, take this with a pinch of salt, because it seems like neither the mother of his children nor her partner are reliable sources 100%. But essentially, in donating his sperm, he specifically donated to a very specific person. According to the mother of the children, the first two... I think, did they have 1 and then 2? Or was it 2 then 1? I think it was 2 then 1. I think they're twins.
Yeah.
The first two was a sperm donor,
Yeah.
and the second one was not.
Yeah, it was
A
natural.
consensual relationship.
Yeah.
So you're lying.
You know,
You're not a sperm donor in the second instance.
you're a father.
Your father.
And you know what really... what scared me, because the lie was so easy. It like literally just lapped off him. Like a what's it called? A thing to water, like a stone to water, whatever.
A duck to water.
A duck to water. But it was so easy. It was when Ashley said, "Oh, so do you know how the kids look like? How the sperm kid, the donor kids look like?" And he said, "No."
Not the sperm kids. All kids, sperm kids.
But do you know how these kids look like? And he said no.
Cut
to, fam.
The mum is posting pictures of him and them kids. Scary.
And it's not even like the lie. It's like, also, you are literally denying your children. And they will see a television show. On television. That will be on TV for life. And
unless Netflix goes under, you're done.
And
it's on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, and these kids will see it.
We have immortalized it
exactly,
on this YouTube thing.
Exactly. Your kids will have seen this and known that my dad don't even know how I look. Or has lied to say that
my dad has lied.
Lied.
Has lied.
Thick lies that we know is a lie.
Looks dead in that woman's eyes. Said,
and lie. I think
I'm not involved.
Yeah.
I've never seen them kids.
It's really sad, and I think
birthday pictures going up. Christmas pictures going up. Embarrassing.
It's really bad. And do you know what really...
What did you think was going to happen when they got home? What did you think was going to happen when they got home?
When the woman comes and says, "Oh, your kids are here."
What did you think was going to happen? That's like... It's the kind of line that would just piss me off. Because it's like, this isn't even a good lie.
No.
This isn't a good lie.
And there's so many things that makes me wonder, like, why are you so quick to... One, of course you want to marry her because it's part of the show. But why are you so quick to get a baby with her? Are you trying to trap her?
Get a job.
It's scary. It's scary, and because also Ashley is from a I think she's got a wealthy background actually. Because I think her dad is well off. And is it a money thing? What annoyed me and why I knew this series wasn't.
Ashley was the one whose dad was African.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And everyone was like, Ashley's dad is hot. Ashley's dad is an uncle. Okay?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, 100% uncle. Like that's just.
He was a chill uncle. Like
very
he said,
chill.
Listen, she's gonna make her own mind up. She's gonna have to make her own mistakes. I support her 100%.
Yeah.
That's chill. That's good dad.
But also, at the wedding.
Some of you guys don't have dads. That's what you meant by Ashley's dad is hot.
Yeah.
I wish Ashley's dad also supported me.
Exactly.
Please, Ashley's dad, come and give me advice.
Because when Ashley was talking about the dad, it sounded like they've not had the best relationship growing up. Like, and I think that's what she did say. Like, she just had to accept him for who he is, and then to smash cut to knowing that she's marrying Tyler, who's a deadbeat dad. Like, it's just the irony of the situation. And what pisses me off is that I really was rooting. I was rooting for this couple because in the pods, like I was rooting for them in the beginning before we knew all this news. In the pods, like I just felt like there was this instant connection. Like the fact like Ashley wanted this like God-fearing man, and Tyler just seemed to be the perfect like specimen of one. Like he'll be praying. He was in touch with his emotions. He'll be crying. He was like letting him just. It felt like a very natural dynamic between them. So I was just like, yeah, this is Brett and Tiffany 2.0. This is gonna be really exciting. This is a definite yes. This is a couple that I'm rooting for because they feel very mature. It feels like this season was meant for them. And I think what annoys me is that throughout the series, like at the honeymoon, they'll be praying together, and just it felt like it was a very like spiritually geared relationship, which I love because I'm a Christian. That's something I would want in terms of a partner. But I felt like he has rubbished, and he has tried to distort that kind of image to be like to make it feel like, well, now it's now going to be a red flag if a man prays or a man cries because you don't know if he's lying, and I don't want that to be the case.
But it's scary. The scariest men you're going to ever meet are in the church.
That's the thing.
Some of the scariest men you're ever going to meet are in the church.
And that's what was really disappointing, because I was like, it would have been so nice to see this really just healthy, and again, this is TV, so showing healthy relationships it's not entertaining, but it would have been so nice because the series gave us enough drama as it is. We have 4 other couples that we're going to talk about who just literally imploded, but like to have this one healthy couple and just showing a really great example of someone who, 2 people who know what they want, they're standing on their boundaries, they have really clear expectations. This thing of like faith is a really important thing that they've been able to work through, and they're on the same page, and it's healthy to see. Heck, you guys were praising about nobody wants this, which is like, you know, a similar thing, you know, an obstacle of faith, but actually they've been able to work around it. Why couldn't we see this on this show? It was so piss-taking.
Well, she might end up staying with him.
That's, I mean, but that also is a mess.
Because isn't that part of it? That is part of it. How many women get up on the internet to support their husband because of faith, who has cheated, who has 17 kids?
It reminds me of the shield of salvation, the helmet of salvation. Derek Jackson's wife.
Exactly.
She came out like much better afterwards, and you know, stronger.
Standing behind a man because you've gone to counselling with the priest and he said pray on it, and then you sit next to that man and he just embarrassed you day in day out. Because ultimately, that man that you're trying to be a good Christian for is not himself a good Christian.
It's actually quite sad that if we think about the timeline of the show and us as the viewers, like the news about Tyler being a father to 3 kids was spoiled to me in between the week of batch 1 and batch 2. So mind you, in the timeline of the show, we knew that information before Ashley did.
No, she would have known this. They've been together for a year.
No, I mean, but like technically, like if we were thinking about
watching it,
if we could think about the show concurrently as like a timeline, like we knew this information before she did. Of course, like they've been together for a year. I would hope and pray that she is not with him, but I do feel that she's with him, and she's gonna stand by her man, and I kind of got in the wedding that it was like, of course, like she was so happy to marry him and it was really important, but I felt like for Ashley it was more important just to get married and just to like finish the race and be like finally, versus
use your brain. Use it. Just use it for a second.
Just 1 second.
Just engage that brain a little bit.
It's not a bad thing to say no, I don't want this. But now you are a stepmom to 3 donor kids /
they're not donors.
Donor kids.
Those are his kids.
Your kids, boo.
Those are his kids.
And they're now yours.
He didn't go to a special clinic, donate sperm, and let that be whatever it was.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. If that was your friend, and they said, we want to have a baby, we're a lesbian couple, we want to have a baby, you're our best friend, will you give us your sperm? That's one thing. Why are you having sex?
Yes, sir.
Why are you having sex with her? Why are you having sex with her?
Yeah, it's given.
Yeah. You can do that whole donor sperm process at home if you want to. Why did we have to get down and dirty?
Yeah.
And then you want to still be like, I'm just a sperm donor.
Yeah, please.
To kids who call you dad. Oh my God! Shut up.
That you see on Christmas, you give them gifts, have photos, family photos, please.
Just get a job.
And that you owe child support. Do not just and you owe money to many women, apparently. So Ashley, for your sake, I pray that God has lifted the scales from your eyes and you've left. But I feel that she's going to be down for her man. And I think sometimes adversity makes people want to stay together longer.
I'm telling you that if we can get through this, we can get through anything. Go. When you eventually have the scales fall from your eyes, you're going to be like, wow, I was down bad. I was down
so bad. And the thing is, Tyler, specimen-wise, I get it. The good-looking guy, says all the right things, seems really emotional, seems emotionally intelligent. Behind the facade,
he's a liar.
Yeah, fam.
You have to draw the line at lying.
Yeah.
You have to draw the line at something.
Minimum.
You need something in your relationship to be sacred, and that should be honesty at the very. You can have had kids. You can have had kids, but to look at me in the eye and act like you don't have children, and then when you do tell me, you still are not telling me the full truth. Then I'm coming out and other people are talking. Now I'm finding out that you've had sex with. No, I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
And I think it's because there's that perception that for some men, who do have kids, they are instantly discounted by some women.
Yeah.
And it does happen. And also, vice versa, it does happen on the other way around. It's, you know, it just is what it is. And I think for him to have gone into the pod and be like, yeah,
this is exactly what people are scared of.
Yeah.
This is exactly what people are scared of.
So,
I'm going to ask you, we're going to talk about kids, you're not going to... Do you know how scary it is to have 3 children?
Yeah.
And and be so comfortable just not acknowledging them.
And I think that to me, either the editing cut a lot of the conversation and the processing of it, because at least with Taylor and Garrett, when they went through their little blip, at least Taylor went to camera and said, this is how I felt, this is what we talked about, and I'm just going to give myself some time to think about this. I don't think we got enough of that from Ashley.
Next time we saw them, it was like basically, is the bachelorette part? I said, we must have missed something.
So much. So I feel like we missed that step of her processing it, because to me that's a big piece of information, and to me he lied. Maybe it's a lie of admission, but he lied, and that is a red flag to me.
He lied, and then the problem is she doesn't know about the second lie. I think he lied, and then he made the reason why he lied seem kind of legit.
The second lie probably got revealed after the wedding. When they brought
the babies to the wedding as guests.
Oh, that would be... Oh my gosh. Because I know what's terrifying. All those friends knew. And that when they were there playing pool or getting ready for that wedding, and they were talking about, oh, you know, I can't wait to have kids.
Unless he's also told the friends it's sperm baby.
Maybe. The reunion, the thing...
Because for you to lie like that, you need to really be thinking in your head, I'm not going to get caught.
True. I'm excited to see the reunion. But I don't think this... Nick and Vanessa, as we know, are not... They don't give. But
we're going to have 2 parts of the reunion, because there are so many problematic people who we need answers from.
Do you know who we need? Nick Viall. Nick Viall will come and collect them, because he's really been doing interviews with a good bunch of them, and he's getting the tea. So I don't care that much about the reunion. When Ashley and Tyler they'll either go on 2 podcasts, I guess, I'm going to guesstimate, Nick Viall, or they'll go on Their Future Wifey, which is a Christian podcast that I have listened to about couples that come on and talk about their relationships. They've had a wide range of different people come on, and I think if they go on it, I'm going to be listening to it. But that's what if they're still together.
Go on it to say what this was, what I did was Christian.
I forgave him.
Oh my God. Who's next?
Who's next? It's Marissa and Ramsey. Can I just give 1 minute?
Mm-hmm.
Marissa is so beautiful. Like, I just want to give a second. Just when I watched the first,
her voice gets on my nerves.
It does, but her actual face,
yeah,
her
she is
hair
cute.
Is so cute. Like the whole time I was like, how do I make my hair look, my 4C hair, mind you, look this way, and the color also works. Do I just get twists? I really was going through like a hair conversation while I was watching Marissa. She's so beautiful.
Marissa is... I agree with you. Marissa in the pod felt so woo-woo. And as the show went on, I was like, oh, she's not as woo-woo. Like, she has a job. Yeah. She has this. She was in the army. Like, there are lots of things about her that are like, oh, I think you have a woo-woo personality, but actually you've had to take care of yourself for a long time, and you're quite... You're who Hannah thinks she is.
And also, when I saw her mum, I was like... She's not as woo-woo. Like, her mum was very...
Her mum...
Her mum was scary, actually. But I liked it. I liked her mum.
Her mum was giving it a bit Rochelle-y.
It was. Like, it was a cross between Rochelle and... what's that girl from Love is Blind UK's mum?
Yes, I know who you mean.
Bobby and... the girl that he got...
Yes.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Jasmine's mum.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that maybe she after that Ramsey was like, I'm done.
I think she kind of warmed up to him, but once he said he was signing the prenup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think her mum is probably an intense person and would be an intense person to anyone that she met.
Yeah.
I think it said a lot about, because up until then I hadn't really realised that Ramsey's quite of a wet blanket.
Low vibration.
Yeah, there you go, great. It's very lo-fi beats. It's very like, apart from when he was very adamant about the army, which I have very similar views to him about the army. Yeah. So like, I was like, well, I'm kind of with him. But what I couldn't get my head around is like, you being like, well, you know, as a person who came from a country that was torn apart by a civil war, I'm always going to be on the side of people who have been oppressed by the American army hasn't come up before.
Yeah.
If you're so passionate about, like, I'm not pro-genocide, actually. How have you managed to have a whole conversation? You didn't know she was in the army?
Yeah.
Because I feel like she was she led with that.
She was very, very, like, loud about it. Like.
So how have you guys not had this conversation before? It was weird to me, actually. And that was, like, I think the first thing, I was like, this is a pretty big deal. And to Marissa's point, in not in his defense, but, like, Marissa's feelings about the army are quite complicated as well. They're quite hard to follow because she's like, I don't regret being in the army and I support the army, but I don't support the army and what they do, and that's why I'm not in the army anymore. But I could at any point go back to the army because I really like being in the army, but I don't support the army and what they do. Like, I don't support killing, but that I do support the army. Like, you're being a bit naive, obtuse. I can't really make my mind up. I think it's probably naive more than a genuine, like, I'm just trying to be tricksy to be tricky's sake.
I think she is conflicting in terms of her values versus the community, because I think, like, her being in the military provided a community of friends, a livelihood, like, so many benefits to her that I think for her to say, oh, I actually don't believe in anything that the military does, may feel like a betrayal, because she was 100%. So part of it. And also, like, one of the things about Marissa that made me, like, go, she's woo-woo, but interesting. Like, she has a very interesting political stance, is when she says she dated out Trump supporter. Yeah,
that's what I was like. Yeah, this season is eerie.
Yeah,
so on both sides, you're scary.
I don't know where you sit. I know that US is very binary, and I think by the time this pod comes out, like, we would still not know who's president, but, like, it's so binary in terms of you're conservative or you're democratic, but she doesn't know where she is. Like, she flips or flops because she knows. I think some of it to do with her own background as well. Like, she doesn't know whether she wants to be conservative because she's been in so many conservative spaces, but then she has some liberal elements to her as well. I don't know. And the liberal parts and the progressive parts appeal to Ramses.
Yeah, because he is liberal. He is progressive.
Yeah.
But again, sorry, to caveat to all the other liberals and progressives listening to this, I described myself as a liberal before. I don't think you can say that you're liberal and say, if you don't have sex with me often and all the time, it's going to really affect our relationship. And then your partner says, well, you know, postpartum, or it might be hard to do that, or if I get ill, and he's like, well, I need that.
Yeah.
And also, I won't wear a condom.
Yeah.
But I don't want us to get pregnant. So essentially, I'm saying the onus is on you not to get pregnant. And she says, well, I can't go on birth control because it makes me ill. And he says, well, I need to have sex all the time. Jesus. And I just was like, there is a version of men, I think I said this to somebody at work, but there's a type of man that I find to be really dangerous, which is those people that move in those liberal spaces. It's kind of like the guys who, like, at uni, like, will, like, join, I don't know, creative writing sock, and all of the places where the girls are, and be like, I'm just one of the girls, I'm a feminist. Meanwhile, you are pressuring women into having sex with you. You know what I mean? Like, there's
the feminists.
Yeah, somehow you've like the soft boys, like, you've learned there is a way to manipulate women into having sex with you. You're either like a big rugby guy who hits on them in the club, gets them drunk, and then takes them back to their room, or you're this soft dude who does a long con of befriending someone over like months just to at some point basically beg them to have sex with you. Like, and Ramses kind of has that energy of being like unthreatening.
Yeah.
So you, like, warm to him, you let your guards down, but actually deep down doesn't want to do anything that doesn't benefit him.
Yeah. Misogynistic.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying, because I think we are in a society where being overtly misogynistic or misogynoir becomes, like, is a big thing. Like, you almost get ostracized, or you get this controversy around it. So if you're known as, like, the progressive guy, which is not a bad thing, it's not a bad thing to be supportive of women, and it's not a bad thing to speak up in support of women, or to want to, you know, to be soft. It's not a bad thing. But when you are doing it with ill intention,
you're doing it up until it doesn't serve you anymore.
And that's the conversation you see with them. And this is not the first time we've seen birth control conversations. No. Last season, I did try to get their names. Johnny and Amy, the only couple that are still together, and the only couple that got married, had the same debacle. They were drama free for most of the season. It was only about birth control because he, you know, he wants to get his business up and running, or he wants to continue making money, and children slow things down, and they don't know if they want to have children. But then Amy said that like birth control is not good for her, so she's not taking it. It's like,
so wear a condom.
Yeah,
he was actually like, I'm gonna go get a vasectomy.
Oh yeah, did he say that?
Yeah, that's what the conversation.
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
it's true. Yeah, she
get a vasectomy. It's like, sorry, how is that the next? It's fine because you can reverse it. It's like, yeah, you can reverse it, but like it's still surgery.
It's not also 100% guaranteed. Let's be honest.
Like,
I just think we just need male birth control, and then let's see how the conversation goes.
Yeah, take something that like changes your brain chemistry and your body chemistry, and then see how you feel about a woman coming up to you being like, oh, I really just don't want to. I don't want you to wear a condom. Just can you just go in the pills so we can? Like, it's not nice. It's not nice. And also, as a woman who should have autonomy over your body, the idea that your partner would be essentially being like, it's ruining my good time that you won't take the pill is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
And also, I think a lot of men forget that like birth control is a luxury actually. Like, it's not a given. Even to try and shame you for not being on birth control, it's like people are on or not on birth control for a variety of reasons that don't involve whether or not you're fucking them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So like you're coming in, but well, my last girlfriend was birth control. Go back and have sex with her then.
So yeah, it felt goofy. It was really goofy. And then after that conversation, which I'm perfectly honest, I started to zone out of some of the discussions.
I actually couldn't.
I zoned out.
I just can't stand how either one of them talk.
No. Because it got to the point where, going back to the point like about woo-woo and being emotional versus being logical, like you really start to see that contrast. At the beginning, I think they were a bit woo-woo for each other, but Marissa was still way more woo-woo. Like when they said that, in the honeymoon they just had to go have sex. Like it was like, okay, there's this like instant emotional connection between them. But towards the end, that's when it started to really shift, and you could start to see like, no, Marissa's traveling for work. I think traveling for studying. Because I think she was traveling to Baltimore. She revealed, I think on the show, after the show, that she had an autoimmune illness, and how that impacted her. And then you could really start to see that Ramsey was detracting. Like, he wasn't getting engaged in terms of the wedding prepping, and she was driving it.
Interest him.
No, it didn't.
I think that's like such. To me, that's what like his whole issue. The whole issue for Ramses is, this is not about me. Yeah. I'm no longer interested in it.
It's not. And Ramses had been married before, when he was very young, and at the beginning he was like, I'm ready to get married. I've learnt my lessons, and then towards the end, when he did break up with her in another smash cut scene that we didn't know what was going on.
What preceded it?
Nothing.
Just straight into, I'm having doubts.
Yeah.
I actually, and then it went from I'm having doubts to let's end it.
Yeah.
We're ending it.
I don't like your energy. Let's end it. Like,
yeah.
It felt too much. Yeah, it felt too much. It felt really abrupt. It also, on Nick Viall's podcast, again, he is a true reunion, interviewer. He asked Marissa whether, Marissa revealed that she had asked Ramsey to just continue dating. So rather than them going down the aisle, they could just like continue their relationship, and he said no. So he really didn't like you. Actually, that one could have been saved for the archives. That one did not need to come out, but like he really did not like you.
No, because I think that is important, because his energy in saying let's not get married was given, and we won't see each other again. Yeah. Rather than like I'm just not ready to get married yet, but I love you and I do want to be with you. Even when she was saying, but we're in love, we love each other, it just felt very much like he shut down and was like, yeah, but I'm just thinking about how I don't want to hurt you going forward. That's given I just don't understand why it's easier. Well, I do, because people are cowards, but like, the mental gymnastics you're doing, which is I'm scared about hurting you in the future, so I'm saying we should break up now, translates to I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, even if I can get through tomorrow, in a week's time, I'm still going to want to get out of this in a month's time. So, like, actually, I should probably go. Why don't you just say that to me?
Yeah.
Saying, I'm just worried I'm going to hurt you.
No, just like, you don't want to be in a relationship.
Yeah, I just don't want to be with you, I think.
Rip
actually
the Band-Aid
feel like I don't
off.
want to be with you.
Yeah. It was a really raw scene. Like, she cried. Even when they filmed it afterwards doing the confessional, she was crying. She was crying hard tears, man.
I don't know why. I remember like looking away for a second, like checking the time. Like, this scene, I want this scene to end.
It was long. I think they said about 12 minutes.
It went on so long. I thought, maybe he's gonna change his mind.
No. Next scene, wedding. Like, oh no, bachelorette party. It was just, I don't know what it is with Love Is Blind. I just don't know how to like end this is when you needed adverts. Even I have advert and tier. I mean, I'm under advert tier. And I feel like after that little breakup, they have an advert, then you come back into the bachelorette party. But it just was so like, I'm crying, I'm sad. Next, we celebrate. I said, oh my God, you're so insensitive. So insensitive. Yeah. I don't know. I felt bad. And do you know what was annoying me? It's like, I really was so keen to see what their wedding would look like. I was like, because she's so alternative.
Yeah. She was about having a black wedding dress or having everybody wear black at the wedding.
It's just, I mean, it's odd, but like, it's really interesting. Who's next? Hannah and Nick. Actually, by the way, Maria and Ramses, when you watched them, did you think they were going to see it?
I actually said, I got to the end of the pods and I said none of these people get married.
You think?
Yeah. I was like, there's something off here. I don't buy any of these couples. Hannah hated what she saw when they opened those doors.
Yeah, no, so
she did not.
No, Marissa and Ramses, I said yes, but I thought there's a chance that Ramses will be irritated by her wee-weeness, and actually that wasn't wrong. But yeah, back to Hannah and Nick.
Hannah does not like Nick. She does not like him.
Oh no!
The whole thing from when they met onwards was her going, I thought I was getting Travis Kelce. And I didn't. And I don't like this man.
No. And do you know what? Girls, trust your gut. Because when, at the beginning, Nick was doing showman, all the girls were saying, this guy is just talk. Hannah even said, this guy's going to ruin me in the future. And you went back to him. And what did he do? Well, actually...
Sorry. Might be where we differ. He did nothing wrong to her.
No, so that's what yeah.
He did not deserve... She was the villain in that situation.
Yeah.
He did not deserve the way that she spoke to him.
I do think... towards the end... post pod reveal, I feel like... Actually, you know what? I'm going to take it back. Because I was like... At the pod reveal, I was not happy with Nick. Because I felt like he lied about his appearance. That being said...
He said he played football. He never said, I'm 6'8".
But I said he looked like Travis Kelce. Do you know how Travis Kelce looks? He's not my type, but that guy is over 6 foot. Hench,
and you fell for it. And you fell for it.
He looks a specific type of way to the point that Taylor Swift is with him. Like, he knew what he was saying.
And he fell for it.
This is exactly
you
like...
watched the show
this
before.
is like Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Like, Megan is... Literally, we're going to have it's going to be like... Destiny's Childish, but it's going to be like now, like all the celebrities that are just dragged in of like delusion.
And do you know what the problem is? You... Not only did you fall for it, that should have been a sign to you that you was in here for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Because you have matched him because you think he looks like Travis Kelce, not because of who he is.
Yeah.
That is why you've done it.
Yeah.
His personality was the same from when you met him in the pod till he finished the show.
Yeah.
If you've fallen in love with him...
Yeah.
For you to do this 180 flip, it's because he doesn't look how you want him to look.
Oh, 100%.
And I just think, don't be a fucking coward. Just say, I thought that, okay, I'm trying to even find a nice way to say this. I'm struggling with the attraction.
Yeah.
I love you as a person. I think we have built a genuine bond, but I'm not feeling a sexual spark here.
And she could have easily said that. I mean, they would have definitely we would have followed their journey. There's no doubt about it because of that point of contention. I do think that Hannah, in the same breath at the pods, during the pods, that she also potentially misrepresented herself because she talked about the fact that she had gone on a weight loss journey, but then she has said some certain things that gave the impression that she does not look the way she does.
No, she did.
She's had a glow up since then, if you've seen her on the socials now. But like, and she looked great before. But like, let's call a spade a spade. But this couple was thinking that one is Taylor Swift and the other one is Travis Kelce, and then we opened this. We opened the pods.
Well, one of them was Travis Kelce and the other one was Taylor Swift. It was the wrong way around. Because she's massive.
No.
I think like she's a tall
she's
girl.
She's because she's got someone who's got broad shoulders.
Linebacker.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. She was Travis Kelce and he was Taylor
Swift. It really was. I mean, when they hugged,
and I could see it in her face. She was like, "What's the actual fuck?"
Okay, so this is what I was thinking of when I watched it. So when I told you about that guy that was a skinny guy, for context, I went on one date with this guy. I described him as a skinny guy. I never heard the end of it from Money.
Because I just think that's so funny.
But
that is so funny.
But that is exactly how I felt. I felt like the big spoon.
You never even spooned. You saw him walking towards you. You said, "Oh God, I'm gonna be the big spoon. I can't do it."
There was no spooning, but I'm just saying, like, just in terms of. Like an illustration.
Shut to crouch down.
Crouch a hug. Like that's the best way to describe it. It's not like, it wasn't just like he was skinny, he was small as well. Like Nick. Skinny and small.
I think I've said this on the pod. Every guy I've ever met on a dating app has been shorter than he said he was.
Oh yeah, but I think
And I think I've actually been taller than them.
Yeah.
They haven't been skinny. But like most short people are quite petite anyway. You know, so I've probably also stooped to hugs. I've done a couple stoop hugs. The last guy I met on a date was considerably shorter than me, and in my head I was like,
how many inches short?
This is getting goofy. Probably like 2 or 3 inches shorter than me.
Were you in heels?
I mean, I think
heeled shoes. Yeah. Oh God.
I didn't know. I'm really bad, but I'm also really bad for that. Like I don't really check people's height.
Oh, 100%. Like I
just assume that you're tall.
Yeah. Dude,
I just assume people are tall.
When you see the number, like they put their height on the thing.
Yeah, I won't. But I don't check.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't even look.
Isn't there like a filter that you can literally do like minimum 5'10"? Yeah.
I wouldn't do that though.
Oh, you're so kind.
I'm just like, I need to know if your face is gonna be nice to look at.
Oh, no shade. Like you may say you're 5'10", then all your photos, I will then be doing investigation to try and gauge your scale.
No, I think the photos is actually the better. Yeah. I would rather
do a scale
than you saying that you're 5'9".
Yeah, I would do a scale. Like you will start to see like all the friends, you look like you're in the midst of them. You're the shortest one, or like they're standing next to somebody that's like has like significant, like you'll be able to gauge like, or they're standing there at a lamppost, or they're standing there like a wall, and you can kind of like gauge like, if he was 6 foot, he would look like this.
Why is his feet not touching the floor when he sits on the swing? That is not.
I feel like you need me to bend because the number alone, that's the minimum. Like I will be looking at. Okay.
Yeah, I never.
I'm not superficial. I
never look.
God-fearing man is very important, but the height.
I think it's just because I honestly have this problem. But I feel like so much of being a tall woman, like yourself, like you that feeling of being like, I'm a burden, I'm just so big. I should just be grateful that this short man wants to be with me. Affects like you, so you're not really you're not out there like. I love when I meet a tall girl and she's like, I'm 6'5" and I'm looking for a guy who's 6'7". I'm like, work.
Go on for
actually
it.
Work.
For it. Have you seen? So there's this couple on TikTok. They were just doing an interview because they were both tall. I think the girl was six something and the guy is definitely close to 7 foot. And they were just like talking, interviewing about like tall, like what they look for in the couples, and they're now dating and everyone's rooting for them. I think they're called Tyler and I don't know what their names are. Tall and Tyler. No, but the girlies know they're very cute, like this like white couple from America, but they're both very tall, and they just literally they were doing those TikTok interviews, and they're together now. But I think if you want a tall guy, which is what the girl was saying, I want a tall guy. Yeah, stand by it.
100%.
The pool may be small, but you'll be able to see them.
The pool may be small, but sometimes also accept if you're if you're saying the thing that's important to you is tall. You have to accept that man will be cheating on you. but you decided that being children is the most important thing because Nick, as a partner, was validating.
Yeah.
He was celebrating.
He couldn't boil water though.
So, like, in the grand scheme of things, you don't have, like, she was acting like she's had 8 kids and she's tired of raising them.
Come
relax.
on. When she's like, I made you into the guy that you are, it's like, bro, it's been 2 weeks.
You're unhinged.
Sit down.
You're unhinged. I saw somebody made a video on TikTok about how, like, what Hannah doesn't like about Nick is that her parents had to put her out when she was 18 and she had to survive. Like, she's had to learn to do these things. Nick has had the luxury of not having to learn how to boil water because his parents love him and want him around and pay his and they do, and they baby him. And why would you not want to be babied if you can be babied?
And there are some men like that.
The energy of their home, can I just say, of all the parents, I really liked his parents probably the most. They just seemed so nice, and I could just imagine, like, your Sunday meals would be just like the loveliest.
When she said, "I will adopt you, Hannah," I was like, "Well, you haven't seen behind the scenes.
You haven't seen Hannah yet, but like it's given. Like, I'm always so weird about. In my head, I'm like, well, my family's gonna be my family. My husband's family can be his family. Like, I don't want him like calling my sister. Like, don't do that. But if that was my mother-in-law, I would absolutely sit on the phone with her and talk about shows. Like, what? Yeah. Oh, do you see what's on EastEnders? Yeah, absolutely. I would actually watch EastEnders specifically so we can talk to each other, because I just think that, like, that is exactly the kind of warm energy you want in a family. And then when you think about, oh, one day when we have kids, these will be their grandparents. Like, it's nice. It's really sweet. Because it's nice, Nick he's a bit sore.
Yeah.
But, like, the way she was carrying on was like, he didn't want to grow and he didn't want to support her in any way. And meanwhile, you don't have a job.
Yeah, so for context, Hannah admitted it. This is like one
of
the
she said the first thing out of her mouth
that she quit her job for Love Is Blind. Look, the thing is, where she said that on the show was fine. Where Shirley did it on TikTok, that was a bit more wild. Where she described it.
I feel like, and doesn't that add pressure to the situation? Yeah. You're thinking every single day when you look at Nick, I quit my job for this.
Yeah.
I quit my job for this.
I have to make this work.
You have to look inward.
Yeah.
Because, sorry, why do you need to quit your job to find a man?
Usually it's because of the fact that you're away for so long.
No, I mean inside of you.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
What is the motivation and impulse to quit? To be like, the most important thing right now is that I go on Love Is Blind.
Fame. Let's be honest.
So you get what you get.
You get what you do.
So you get what you get.
You've won, Hannah. You're one of the girlies that has watched every single season. You've seen the ups, you've seen the downs. You know how much of a risk this show is.
She thought she was going to come on this show, drag Nick, and come out the other side the hero.
Yeah.
That's what she thought was going to happen. And instead, everybody was like, this relationship is borderline abusive.
It is.
That final conversation that they had, where she was basically being like, you have no good qualities.
Yeah.
You've done nothing for me. She was like, you know, I've taught you loads of things. What have you taught me? That's not a question for me to answer for you. That's a question for you to answer about yourself. And you also can't answer what you've taught me.
Yeah.
Because how can you tell me what I've learned? Only I can know what I've learned. Yeah. And the fact that he sat there and remained poised, didn't call her out her name, didn't drag her. He's better than me.
Alex from MAFS, take note.
He's better than me. Because the fact that you've even sat here with a notebook to drag me is crazy.
Cool. She had a notebook already from their first argument. He's this, he's immature, he's that. I said, you don't like this man.
You don't like him.
You didn't like him at the beginning. You broke up with him. Remember, girl, you broke up with him at the beginning in the pod because you said, this guy, he could do better. Then you went back to him because we're going to talk about Leo next, who was also nonsense.
That was never going to happen.
No. So, like, the thing is, I started to feel sorry for Nick because I definitely felt like, okay, he's not the most mature guy and he's probably about 2 or 3 years too early for this Love Is Blind experience. Like, to truly, like, get the best out of this experience and be ready for marriage. I think he's 2 or 3 years off. Let's be frank. It's not just about the fact that he's living at home. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact that because he has been living at home.
He doesn't need to get married.
He doesn't need to,
yeah.
And he lives a very comfortable life, and it means that he doesn't yet have. Oh, he hasn't yet shown that if he was gonna just live by himself, can he fend for himself? Which I understood some of those elements from Hannah. In terms of, like, you want a man who's going to be the man of the house, who's going to guide you and lead you because...
Why?
Why? Because going back to that point I mentioned right at the beginning, it's like, okay, the girls that have girl boss too close to the sun now want to live soft life. Now you want a man to look after you, but you've done so much of like being the dominant woman, being the power woman, being super independent, and then now you want someone who's gonna be like the person that you can just like be the small spoon for. But the men around you aren't that.
Also, girl, that's not gonna happen.
No, I'm not with that attitude.
It's actually never gonna happen because you won't be able to relinquish control of your
and that's
life.
the other thing.
You just won't.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, even if he looked like Travis Kelce, body down, I don't think she would.
You couldn't do it if he was like, okay, today I'm telling us what we're gonna do because I'm leading. You would be pushing back the whole time because I don't think the answer in this life, once you've lived on your own as a woman and had autonomy over your life, is to try and find a man you can relinquish control to.
No.
I think you need to find a partner. I think you need to find someone who you trust implicitly, who you want to do things with, right? I want to sit down and talk about where we will live together. I want to talk about when we will have kids together. I don't want to make all those decisions on my own. But to say that I want you to make those decisions for me doesn't make sense.
Because you resent that man.
100%.
You resent that man. And that's what she did. She resented, the minute she saw Nick, one, okay, she resented him because he didn't look the way she wanted physically. Two, then she starts to get to understand that this guy, he's immature. Like, he's 28, but really has the mindset of a 21, 22, 23-year-old man. He's still in his bachelor era. Like, he 100% still is. And then three, you still don't know what you want. Like, I'm ready to get married, I'm ready for this. I don't think you are.
You're not. You're not.
You're
really
actually
not. What you want is for someone to come and take care of you like your parents didn't when you was 18. That's a different thing, and you cannot get that.
And that's something you probably need to work through.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to come take care of you.
Because to be perfectly honest, that's wild. Like,
and if you do want that, you need to find a man who's in his 40s, who's the same age as your dad, and be like, please.
Yeah. Now, had Leo been immature, because he had money, and he let you know that he had money. For people who didn't know, Leo was the art dealer. With the Rolex. He could not stop talking about how much money he had. I'm currently reading the Book of Proverbs. I've read it so many times in the Bible. And the Book of Proverbs, I'll be honest, is like a book of shade. It's so funny. And some of the things you kind of hear or read is like things like people that talk a lot about money, like, are really poor at heart. Like, they don't actually they're not as wealthy as they come across. Yeah. Yes, maybe they're wealthy monetarily, but in terms of, like, in their heart, like, there's nothing there. There's no depth. And that's how I felt with Leo. Initially, I was like, he talks a little bit about money. It's not, okay, he's rich. All well and good. Initially, it was like, oh, he's wealthy. He's wealthy because of really traumatic experience with losing his parents and his grandparents. I think, maybe his parents. So this is an inheritance versus, like, him getting it self-made. And, so I was like, okay, this is kind of like, I felt sorry for him. And then after a while, I was like, no, this guy, he's just here to talk about his money and his wealth, and he's self-obsessed. And he actually behaves as if he's never been with a woman before.
No,
and then we find that out as he continues the conversation with one, Hannah, and then two, a girl called Brittany. The conversation, when he was breaking up with Hannah, when Hannah tried to break up with Leo, so this is when she decides to go back to Nick after breaking up with him. Again, she doesn't know what she wants. Son of immaturity. That conversation was the most frustrating, I don't know how many minutes of TV. And this is the early episodes. He was condescending. He was, like, badgering her as to why she's breaking up with him. Almost trying to make it seem like she's making the wrong decision. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And it was just difficult to hear him just continue to badger her. And I felt sorry for her to the point she started crying. And then she said, I'll come back to you the next day.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very stressful conversation. It was really intense. And I think anyone in that situation would have just been like, this is... I came in here kind of sure of what I was doing, and now you've just, like, completely confused me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, right?
Yeah. And also, like, even if she said, oh, I changed my mind, I want to be with you, like, you were always in the back of her mind know that she didn't want you.
Also, I don't think he wanted her. I think he wanted to be in a triangle.
Oh,
I think
100%.
he liked going back to Brittany and being like, can't say yes to you right now because I'm talking to someone else.
100%.
Like, he sucked, but his presence on TikTok is fun, I guess. Like, he seems a bit more he's more self-aware than, like, most of the people that are on here.
Scary. He said, after Hannah broke up with him properly, or not properly, well, after she was able to break up with him, like, when he actually shut up and then apologised, he did say yes to Brittany, who was, I think, like, a nurse, or, like, I don't know, something in cosmetics, I feel. She seemed a bit woo-woo, but actually I ended up starting to really like her towards the end. She also sounded like she could be a gold digger.
She was a gold digger. She was a gold digger. She dug for the gold, and then she said, I somehow pulled up a troll as well. I don't want the troll, just want the gold. And the troll would not let go of the gold. And then she said, troll, take the gold then. I don't want it no more. And that was the end of that story. That was the end
of it. When the pod opened, and I was like, okay, this is kind of nice. Initially, when they kind of saw each other and then he hugged, and then he got really affectionate, like almost, like he was almost trying to devour her, and it was not a pretty sight. Like, this...
Honestly, I was like, call security.
Oh no.
She's looking at, like, she's doing a direct, she's looking at me at home.
She did help me.
Help me.
She gave that face, even probably more terrifying than Nicole and, what's that dude from Love is Blind UK?
God, yes.
Those two are the most awkward pod reveals this year. And they had, both the women had the eyes of, oh, I made a mistake.
Huge mistake.
I made a big mistake.
Made a huge mistake.
Yeah, because she did look at the camera. I was like, bruh. She was like, even when he said, "Oh, we can go to Mexico after this," so, or we can go to Miami after this. Anyway, sorry, if you are rich, why would we go to Miami? Miami's down the road from DC.
So where are we going?
Bora Bora.
Work. No, you said that so quickly as well. Like, you've got a list of places to go with.
Oh, 100%.
Bora Bora.
I am ready. Like, we're going on our honeymoon if they don't pick us. This was the first time I've ever seen it, apart from Love is Blind Brazil a couple of seasons ago, where they put a black screen. No, they put a screen.
Yeah, they said, we're not even going to tell you. We're going to show it. We're just going to tell you. They went to Miami, it flopped.
They did not, this couple was not selected. And usually, we as the public don't see any of the couples that are not selected at all. But I knew because Leo is part of Hannah's story, and because that scene of him badgering her is TV, like, they had to show it. And I mean, maybe they could have included them, but 7 couples, it would have been way too many. They would have crashed and burned anyway.
But all of the couples, are going to crash and burn anyway, so that would just give us another one to crash and burn. Yeah. It was really weird to have one episode of weddings. Yeah. You know, but usually it's like
a couple.
Yeah. And so to just have both weddings in one episode and like end the series was like, this, even you guys seem like you're a bit disappointed with this.
But they are, I'm sure, because I think, I mean, for context, I think the Love is Blind UK was supposed to be like the only English speaking Love is Blind this year, but then they brought this Love is Blind early, like, forward, because one, it's been a year since they filmed this, so if they withhold it, like, it'll be 2 years or 1 year and a half.
Will come out,
So that was.
They should take a hiatus after that.
100%. Please, they've got so many international formats coming anyway that we don't need the US. Like, Love is Blind Habibi is currently on
right now. Yeah,
I'm struggling to watch it. I'm struggling to get through it. Like, every time I watch it, I'm watching it late at night and I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, but I think I love the premise of it. Like, I mean, people were telling me about how it's different with Habibi versus like the US and the UK, because the parents have to give their permission before they get married.
That's nice.
Which I think is like, it's really nice, and I love the tradition, but I think I just need to watch it in the daytime.
I think, sorry, last thing on Hannah and Nick. I felt so hard Hannah trying to create issues throughout the season, like when he was riding that duck with that woman and being like, it was disrespectful, he was flirting with her, and it's like, it was actually so harmless. So you're allowed to say you got the ick because you saw your husband riding a duck.
Yeah.
But that's because you don't find this man attractive, and that was another thing that made him not attractive. Like, trying to link it back to him being morally bankrupt in some way, I just felt so much from her trying to be like, there's an issue and it's him, and also, it just wasn't happening.
And then she talked about his sexuality, like he doesn't like to. To me, I didn't get that. So I only got that when someone reviewed the episode from TikTok. like that he doesn't like to
go down on.
He's like DJ Khaled.
She didn't need to do all that.
Nah, it was too much.
She didn't need to do all that. She just really, I feel like that's like why. By that point, by that conversation, I really was like, you're irredeemable. Like, I really, really want to just have empathy for both of you, but I just feel like you're now going out of your way to embarrass this man for reasons that are not implicit. Maybe he's awful to you, but you've never said that. I just think you don't like him.
No.
And you're a very particular kind of person. And this is how you deal with situations that you find yourself in that you don't want to be in. And you're pissed off because you quit your job and you thought he was going to look like Travis Kelce. But those are reasons for you.
Yeah.
You could have expressed all those things and still sort of left it reasonably. I think he genuinely cared about her. He genuinely liked her. I think he was very happy to be coupled up with her. And and even if what she said is true, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I have not slept with Nick, so I can't confirm or deny. If what she said is true, like, that is something you guys surely could have worked through. I just don't think he needed to do all of that.
No, it was too much. I mean, even I think she tries to create drama because the friend from the pod, which was like my best friend for life. I was like, she's not your best friend, girl.
A week ago.
Yeah. And I really liked the conversation that blonde girl had with him.
Yeah, she was
very mature, and I love that she's
respectful.
And she was so respectful. And she did say, like, I didn't pick you because you're immature. And I said, look,
it's possible to have a conversation like that without hurting people's feelings.
Yeah, and it's also like, okay, it validates something that Hannah did say, that he is immature, but we can see it. He as I said, he's a couple of years too early for this experiment, and he's not ready to get married. He should not have been on the show, but there's a way to speak to him, and she actually like validated him, like
because she liked him.
Yeah, she really validated him.
You don't like him. I stand by this, and we'll talk about it when we get to match. That's not how you talk.
Yeah.
About people that you love, and saying, "But I love you, Nick." No, but Nick, I love you.
You don't.
It's because I loved you, Nick. If that's how you talk to people that you love, you need to go to therapy, and really ask yourself, and have someone ask you, why do you think that that's a normal way to talk to people that you love?
Because to me, it was always vacant. It always felt like it was underlining with just hatred.
It's a criticism.
Yeah.
It's couched in a criticism all the time. The I love you is basically permission for her to then say something completely fucked up about you. That's not love.
It's not, and it's not fair. Apparently, like, he's been blown up on his TikToks, like dressing up. Like,
he looks really good.
Yeah, he looks like he's been looking good. And someone put in the comments that he looks like he is he would enjoy the black wife effect.
Also,
he needs a sister, and he liked that comment.
Not for nothing, but this was played down a bit. His mum is Cuban. He's
yeah.
That was like a fun thing that we could have learned about Nick. Like,
it would be so interesting to learn about that cook, because the food that Joe cooked looked good.
Yeah.
Really
Why?
good.
Like, I just feel. I don't know. I just feel like perhaps he minimised himself in coming in there. Perhaps it was because Hannah was so like, this is about me. But like, sorry, that mad thing when she was like, I like to vacuum twice a day.
Did she say that?
Every day. I like to vacuum every day.
No, girl, that's a problem.
You do get a job. I'm telling you, all the bad behaviour, people need to be working. If you went to work, you would not be coming home to fight me over whether or not I vacuumed today.
No. And I think also, I was going to say something about Hannah. You continue.
No, and then that thing about, like, on the one hand, I was with her, and then I lost, and then I was like, you're just trying to find a problem. Yeah. She was like, yeah, you do help with the chores, but only when I ask you to. It's the first time we've lived together, I don't know what you want me to do or need me to do. Also, I'm going to be honest with you, if I was dating someone and they were like, the way I like to live my life is I like to hoover, guess what, you're the one hoovering now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You want to hoover every day, you're hoovering. I'm not doing that.
One thing I learned about, and I love my sister, she's very particular, and it took me a very long time to realise that. But once I did, it's a very easy boundary. There's certain things I don't do because I know she'll prefer to do better. She'll feel like she's going to do it better, and I prefer that she does it herself because I know that she'll be happy. There will be no chat about it. And that's with love, because she would know that she would do it in a certain. She has to do things in a certain way. Like, she would like to cook in a certain way. If you try to eat it off her, she'd be like, no. And I'd be like, you know what? Good. We're all going to benefit. You're going to cook the food the way you want it. Now enjoy eating it. The other thing I was going to say about Nick is I feel like Nick went through a bit of a personality transformation as well, because in the pods, there's no doubt he came in like he was a stud, and all the girls picked up on it. And by the time he left, he was like humbly broken.
But I also
down.
Yeah, he was flirty in the pods.
To get the girls. I think...
And maybe he is a flirty guy, but now I'm wifed up. So why would I be out here flirting with everybody still? I've got a wife now.
Which is what he said.
So...
Yeah. When I saw this couple, I predicted there would be a hell no. They also felt like really young. Like Hannah's the youngest person in the experiment, and I think it showed.
Well, she also said, "I'm younger than you, but I feel a lot older than you."
Yeah, no.
Work, Hannah. You did it. You actually did it.
Come on.
Congrats.
I'm looking forward to the reunion. She's gonna be. I think there's gonna be some grudging apologies.
I actually don't think there will be. I don't know. Based on what I've seen of her on TikTok, I don't think the self-awareness is in the room with us yet. So let's see.
Next couple is Alex and Tim.
No.
So yeah, I predicted absolutely no.
No.
I said Alex. I thought Alex would say no, not Tim.
Yeah, because nobody said this online.
Go on.
But didn't you get a bit of a fruity vibe from Tim?
No.
I don't know, something, yeah, to me there was something just a little bit off.
No, I didn't get that. I got Tim aka Drake.
Yes, his name is actually Drake.
His name is actually Drake, so let's just put that there. No, I didn't get the fruity vibe. I got the sense that he has real avoidant tendencies.
I don't think he likes women.
I don't
think he likes women. And the pipeline from not liking women to not liking women is a very straight line.
Oh my gosh. I have to be honest. So during the pods, when they were talking, I cried a little bit when he's at his story about losing his two sisters. Because I have a younger brother who has two sisters. And so he really caught me with some of that story.
Because it's a sad story.
It was really sad. And yeah, I was wrapped up in the emotion because the idea, like someone who has siblings, you have siblings too, so it's just knowing that they're not there and you're the only one, that felt really like, yeah. So I will give him that. I think there were times when there's a lot of trauma, there felt like there was quite a bit of trauma bonding at times, or more like, because the trauma of the experience really has impacted him so much. Like that was a space of vulnerability, and you could really see that. And I really was rooting for the couple at the beginning because you could really feel that connection between them and how vulnerable he was with Alex. I didn't get a lot of what Alex's personality was, but I just felt like she was gonna be a good support at the beginning. In the pods, there was nothing. I didn't get a lot from her. That I can remember. I'll be honest.
This is like going back to what I was saying earlier about like. There was just something about each of those couples that I saw that I was just like, there's nothing here. I felt that about them. Like, I'm not seeing a spark here. I'm not seeing the thing that would make me go, oh, that's why they've fallen in love with each other. It just felt like you said, I'm about to tell you a really sad story. You're going to react as you should, which is that was a sad story and get upset. I'm going to interpret from that you are a loving and kind person. Yeah. No, you've told me a sad story and I've reacted to the sad story the way people react to sad stories. That was sad.
It was really sad, yeah.
That doesn't mean that I'd make a good wife.
But he really, as soon as he kind of latched onto Alex, he was kind of like really going like, you're going to be the next sister I bring to my next daughter. It was a lot. It was
it's just really intense. And for what?
Really...
I could not see what they liked about each other. What did they like about each other?
It wasn't clear, and I think when they had the pod reveal, it became even clearer that there was going to be a bit of a disconnect because he kept on trying to take the piss out of her. Yeah, she was not like.
Their humour's not the same.
No.
It also felt very much like as things went on, he was like, I have a particular way of doing things, and it's really not up for discussion.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really like. And I was like, it's just not giving a relationship to me. It's giving like a two roommates.
Yeah, it was giving me a dictatorship. Like sometimes when you spoke, it reminded me of Alex from MAFS. Like, oh, let me finish speaking. No, this is how I'm gonna do it. It's me done. No, we're not gonna. This is the end of it. Like, just completely just steamrolling any type of conversation. Even the way he broke up with her, at least we can agree. I would never see you again.
Like, it's one, and again with the edit. What did we miss? Because it's giving you hate her.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's happened to create hatred. What? Because I didn't hug your parents the way that you like that you hug, or I took a nap. You're going to end the whole relationship, and not only just end the marriage, end the relationship, and now we're enemies. But But yesterday you was in love with me.
Yeah, the way you asked for my dad's hand in marriage.
That's what did. Sorry, I feel like that's when I was like, no, I have decided he's the villain. Everyone online's like, yeah, but Alex's house was dirty. Sorry, I don't know what that.
Yeah, whatever.
For you to go and sit across from my dad and then the next day be like, it's a wrap, is unhinged. My sick dad. Have my sick dad crying on TV. Yeah. And scary.
I feel like he had mentally broken up with her after that first fight. The
fight which they, again, didn't show us.
We have no idea what happened.
My thinking was they didn't show it to us because it was physical.
Yeah.
Because she physically assaulted him.
Yeah. And also, we can probably talk about this at the end as well, but like, Love is Blind US has been going through it legally. Like, legally. The last couple of seasons there have been sues.
There have been sues.
There's been legal
lawsuits. There was sues. She's done a sues.
There's sues. There's been lawsuits. There's been there's a whole union that's been started to be formed with some of the previous contestants, saying things like the conditions that they were filming in has been bad, they've not been fed. So that's why best believe every scene in the pods, in the parties, there's food everywhere. Like, the way they've edited it is to basically protect their back legally, and I feel like some of the fights were not shown for that very reason alone.
Yeah.
So
that, and for that to be, because that scene, I agree with you, I think you checked out from that moment. Yeah. For us to not see that argument, I understand if you guys are hiding it because you don't want to, create a criminal case or something. But because we can't see that, everything that happens hereafter is just kind of shrouded in mystery and a question mark.
Yeah.
And I also didn't get the impression that she particularly liked him.
No, I didn't get it either.
I feel
like she tolerated him.
Couple for me. Yeah, it just, I really struggled to see a universe in which these two people would date in the first place, let alone one where they made it down the aisle. I was like, this is not going to happen.
No, I felt like they could have been great friends, but I also feel like
I don't think that man likes women, so I don't think they would have been friends.
I think because of things that he has experienced in his past, he is very quick to check out. Like, if there's anything that's going to inconvenience him, he's out. And I think that made it quite difficult to see what the future would look like. And the minute he walked out, like, went to go and stay in another room after that first fight, I was like, if this is his reaction to every conflict you have, mind you, we don't know the severity of this conflict, then he will continue to leave you. If, for instance, you have a baby and something's happened and you have some postpartum issues, and he says something, you say something that is like slightly left, and he takes offense to it, he would dip, and you won't see him for the next year. It's just like, I just never felt like he was as serious as he came across, even though in the pause it was like, oh, I'm taking this seriously because I want to fill a gap that he's lost, but I hated the way he spoke to her.
You're not gonna find that.
No,
You're not gonna find it.
I really didn't like the way he spoke to her.
I didn't either. I just think there was a lot of malice and hatred there. It's giving very much the way that Stephen or MAFS spoke about the woman that he was with. What's her name? Ruby.
He's
the newer couple. Hannah. Yeah.
Yes.
The way he spoke about Hannah, it was just like, I just feel like, get them off the show.
No.
At that point, just get them off the show.
You don't give us the same screen you gave Leo. Tim decides to step away. There's nothing wrong with that. Or cut them out of the show.
Literally, because they didn't do anything interesting.
There was nothing, like, we had more than enough couples to give us stories.
You literally could have cut them out of the show.
They were not needed. I also, I predicted it was a no. Should we move on to our final couple? So, Monica and Steven. I will be honest, this was the only couple out of the pods I wrote unsure. I had no idea, but it was the one couple that was the only couple I was excited to see the whole journey. I wanted to see where they will end up.
You thought you were going to get a Lauren and Cameron tape too?
Potentially. Or, because it was the couple that was the most, I'll be honest, interesting. Because all the other couples felt quite predictable. I knew where they lined up. But this couple, I was like, there is something about this. The dynamic. Monica's a little bit older. And Stephen, he seems quite playful, but a little bit aware of himself. And they would look like a really beautiful couple. So I was like...
I thought they made an odd couple.
They did look odd, but I thought like Monica's good looking. Stephen... Oliver Stephen, who is that's how he's been described online. Oliver Stephen, he's tall and he's not bad looking.
He's not bad looking.
He's not.
He's a brother at the end of the day.
Oh my god!
I'm laughing because it's actually crazy.
It's nuts, honestly.
There are two things that happened in the pod where I was like, I actually don't know I equally don't know what's gonna happen here, but I'm scared.
Go on.
The first thing was him when he was like, cheating came up and he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have emotionally cheated before. I'm not proud of it. And she's like, can I just say the fact that you had the bravery to admit that you did that? And he was like, I know that I hurt my partner. It was an emotional affair. She was like, I just think King, here's your crown. You deserve it. I said that was a really weird interaction. He must have gone back to bed that night being like, ooh.
I literally passed through this cheating conversation.
I ate that
down.
She couldn't get enough of my cheating. She thought it was sick.
Because he said, I'm technically a cheater. Which, if someone tries to dissect their cheating, that's a flag in itself.
At the point, this is why you must fear men. The fact that he was even like, listen, I'm going to put my hands up. You're going into it on the other side being like, wow, he's being honest.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you don't even know if what he's just told you is even true.
It's true.
He was in an emotional affair. Based on what we know about him now, he probably fucked that woman as well.
True. Or sexed her, like at least.
That's not emotional.
No. I have to go back to, I don't know, we're doing a Love is Blind UK comparison because when we compare the two, there's different standards between UK and US. But when Freddie had the conversation with, what was that girl's name?
Can't remember, but I know you mean.
Yeah, about his cheating. Yes, he was very honest about it.
He seemed very penitent.
Very, very penitent. Like, you could tell, look, they do say once a cheater, always a cheat, as we saw with Stephen, but like, it came across like it was something that he did when he was young and dumb, and he was very, what's the word, not forgiven, was very remorseful about it. Thank you. And so that felt like, okay, that was a good conversation. Plus, also in the pods, Freddie was just giving green flag after green flag after green flag.
And it was hot.
Oh, I need Freddie to really maximize this because I heard that Ollie's gonna be on Perfect Match. I don't know if Freddie's gonna be on it. He was chatting with AD apparently. Yeah, because there was a picture of them in a hotel. I mean, in a hotel restaurant. But yeah,
AD,
like,
get it together, girl.
Yeah, AD.
Get it together.
Because you can't go from Clay to Ollie. Also, what happened to Ollie's girl?
Oh no! That didn't last. That's crazy.
No, when he was there stumbling and fumbling about what you mean to him, yeah. So yeah, very, very different conversation about this cheating. The way Stephen positioned it, it was like, technically, if you want to say I cheated, I kind of cheated, but
no, it wasn't. But he was like, no. He was like, I know most people wouldn't consider this cheating. I tell you, the language was so particular. But I personally feel like what I did was cheating, and I hurt my partner, and I can't even get the words out. I would never do that.
Oh God.
I would never do that again. And she was like, oh my God, Stephen, if you could see me right now, I'm shaking and throwing up because I love what you said so much. Like, where's the intellectual curiosity?
Yeah, I know.
Dig into that a bit more. How did that start then?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Because I would be curious if my partner said, I started emotional cheating, and I asked them, how did that work? And it would say, it's a girl at work. Now we're going to have a problem.
Oh.
Now I'm going to think every time you go to work, you're looking for girls to cheat with.
Uh-huh.
I need to know how this came about.
Yeah.
Oh, was her friend? Like, I need to know to what extent.
And what happened for you to be like, let me switch whatever connection we have into a cheating?
Because most people are not cheating on their partners, period. Or maybe they are, I don't know. Emotionally cheating is people think, oh, it's less bad because there's no physical intimacy. But that involves like, to sometimes telling people that you love them, messaging that person all the time, doing everything that a partner would do for that person.
Bar the physical.
And I don't think that you should get a pass for only being like you're a martyr or that you did a good deed. And I think emotional cheating has that thing because it's emotional. They're like, you must have really liked them, and like you knew that it would be wrong to date them, so you were just like you couldn't really like. As if it's classier, basically. It's classier than if he just hooked up with someone. And I think he really lent into that. And she read it as, it is classy. He's a classy guy. And then he hit him with the 1-2 punch. Turns out I'm black. Turns out I'm black.
I'm so sorry.
And she said, oh shit. I'm black. This is perfect.
Oh no, what he just called her was a
mutt.
A mutt.
Yeah.
Because she was like...
teeth, all 32 teeth shining.
As many...
Some people are scary.
Yeah, as some people know, like, I am afraid of dogs. And I have fallen into many dog TikToks and Instagram. And it's allowed me to learn more about dogs. And to address my fear more. And that's how I found out about mutts. Like, mutts are like... crossbreeds, mix of just everything, usually unwanted, usually unwanted. And when he describes it as a mutt, I had to be like, huh? I had to go and rewind, come back again.
Do you know what it was for me? She didn't react, so I did. I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is like a little nickname they have for each other, because it's quite a thing to call someone. Yeah. But for her to be like, I
am a mutt. I'm like, excuse me?
Maybe she thought she was talking to another person of her complexion. She wasn't expecting a fully white man to come out the other side. I mean, talk about calling her but
he did say that when he was describing his 23andMe and ethnicity, he did say, I'm technically... There's a lot of technically. He looks white. He said that he was white passing.
Still, you hear what you want to hear in this life, don't you? She's imagining a reggae Sean Paul on the other side of that
reggae Sean Page.
On the other side of that door. She's imagining Drake. She's like, yeah, I'm about to get mine. Cut to. I don't think she found him attractive.
No, I don't think he was like 100% attractive.
No, and I don't think he found her 100% attractive. Because why would you go and be trying to sleep with someone else?
Yeah, true. But I also feel like, perfectly honest, like
and the way he allowed that to wrap. If you really liked me, I don't think he would be like, I made a mistake, and I have to please.
I think he had been.
Nobody begged enough this season.
No, he had been. Oh no, apart from Marissa. Are you sure? Are you sure?
That was horrible. Women, don't beg,
please.
It's disgusting.
Apart from he had been sending some breadcrumbs that he was not in for the commitment. Because he kept on saying things like, oh...
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Or, are you sure, like, you're 100% in it? Like, there's a lot of, like, are you 100% in? Are you 100% in? Are you 100% in? Like, you could feel the doubt in him. And also, perhaps, like, a lack of security in the relationship from her. Like, I don't think she got, like, a sense of he was 100% in it. So... For me, I think that this cheating was like him saying, like, it almost a cry for his, not a cry for help, but like that was him being like, I have to do something drastic to get out of this. And what's more drastic than cheating? However, like the way she caught it, it wasn't like he was leaving his phone around. It was just by chance he stepped out to the bathroom and saw something, and she saw something ping on his phone, and then she checked because she thought
she was on his phone
because a group.
Yeah, because because Garrett and Taylor had just been over, or were coming over, and so she was on his phone looking at that message, and then he saw the ping from the other message and opened it up.
So yeah, I feel like
for you to be what.
And he was shooting with that girl since before the pods. Like he was talking to that girl from before the pods.
And you said, I'm going to give my phone to my wife. Knowing. Like, I would love to just, I would love to just, like, interview a cheat.
Yeah!
interview one of these liars and just be like, what is going through your head in that moment? Is that you have forgotten that you're a cheat? Like, is that what it is? You're able to compartmentalize what you're doing and outside of the house and who you are in the house, so much so that you're not even thinking, hold on, me and the guy who is playing around share a phone. If I give my phone to my wife, she's gonna not only see the me that's at home, she's gonna see the me that's out here in these streets. Or is it that you're like, I don't care?
I think it's the bit of the latter. I think that there's a thrill of being like, I'm doing something that I know is wrong. Like I'm doing something that's deviant, but I'm eating my cake. What's the phrase again? Having my cake and eating it. So what's the problem?
See, I think it's the former, because I actually just don't want to live in a world where people are just like, I'm trying to do evil. I wonder if he's got like a sex addiction.
I think that they imply that he may have.
Because that is less of a I'm trying to do evil and more of a like I have a compulsion.
Yeah, I mean, he talks a lot about it.
That weird conversation he had with Taylor.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, there's something off with him.
Yeah.
Being like, you know, when we get out of here, loads of girls are going to want to be in our DMs talking shit about us and also wanting to fuck us. But we have to, like, you know, we just have to prepare ourselves for that. What?
Yeah. But it was also like he gave off, maybe this sounds weird, he gave off very sexual energy. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, I think you were just really, when you were picking up on you were like, well, whatever you're putting down, I'm picking it up, babe.
No, I just feel like, just in himself, like, because he's quite a big Nick is what Stephen is what Nick thought he looked like. Oh my god, I'm not like it's so annoying.
I feel like you are out on yourself. I think you are out on yourself, and it's okay.
I hate it because Stephen is not unattractive. I just feel like Nick is what Stephen. So Stephen is what Nick wished he looked like.
Yeah, no, that's what he said.
And he, like, I think he has a better physique.
Yeah, then this is the part where you're starting to out yourself.
And
you're like, I just feel like he's a really sexual person. You are attracted to him. That's what you're picking up. You're not picking up.
Let me land. I also feel like throughout in the honeymoons, even when they was getting like massage, for instance, like you could just tell like he just wanted to have sex with Monica the whole time.
Yeah, but so did most of them.
I mean, yeah, true, but like I just felt like he was just horny the whole time. Even when he said the wind may pass and I'm gonna be hard.
He is giving horny.
Yeah, constantly, like a 18-year-old boy.
Yeah. So
I just feel like he just gave off that energy. Like he's down for whenever, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a sex addiction. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a sex addiction. Addiction. Shoot, what's going on?
I was thinking about him like sex addition, an addition. I want to be one of the additions. I want to have sex with this addition. Like happening.
There was so many. The things I hate because he came off very confident, but he talked too much to the point where Monica had to tell him to shut up. That wasn't harsh. When she got up and walked
away and left Taylor with him, I was like, damn, I would have done the same thing. But that's so bad to your friend. Harsh. Like, I'm gonna get a drink. And then just leave him just chatting away.
Chatting.
God, shut up.
He talked to the point where she said, you're speaking so much that you haven't even let me have a place for me to even input into this conversation. And it's not like what she said afterwards was interesting, but like still, you could tell it was hard work.
That thing about the flowers as well, where she was like, you said that you would like, get the flowers, and he was like, but that's... Because she wanted to be like, well, I wasn't going to do that, was I?
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, that's what I want, because that's what you said you was going to do. And even the way that he reacted to that, and then, eventually he got her the flowers, but like, that should tell you everything. That man told you whatever he needed to tell you to get you home.
Yeah. Also, why do you have to beg a man to get you flowers? It's the whole thing about chivalry. Like, no chivalry. Nothing.
No chivalry. I came here to hook up with girls.
Yeah.
I didn't come here to buy no girl flowers.
If you wanted to hook up with girls, you shouldn't be on Love is Blind. You should be on Too Hot to Handle.
I wonder if Stephen didn't think he was going to get this far.
No, I don't think he...
I think that's what the problem was. I think he did not think he was going to end up on the show, and then he was starting to panic. And that's probably why he started reaching out to the other girlie at the sleep test where he was drunk. Like...
What?
Again, the edit...
Also, what's a sleep test? And shouldn't you be in your house?
No,
Sleep.
I think you go to a place
And
sleep there because they need to, like, they're probably monitoring you and
Oh.
stuff. The fact that Love is Blind allowed him
That's
to
what's
leave
weird.
this experiment didn't make sense.
No,
to me.
it does. It's weird. What do you mean to leave the experiment to do the sleep test?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild because I know that he wasn't working, but was it to get money? I was very confused.
What does he need money for? Oh yeah, because when she was like, "Cash at me right
Yeah.
now."
To
What's
be
that
honest,
thinking, Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, perfectly honest, that was a thing because she was like, "I funded your whole lifestyle.
I'm gonna need you to run me back that money.
Give me my money quick." She's like, "You can't embarrass. You mean you embarrass me, but you ain't gonna embarrass me any longer."
She said, "I need my money, nigga."
Yeah.
And she can say that.
Again, this is the question you ask. When Kanye said that he loved X in Paris, what is X? Mathematical
Now,
equation.
if he says it,
Yeah.
even though he tells you he's
This is
1/5,
what I mean.
are you actually gonna be okay with that?
No.
Yeah, no,
sorry,
I'm dealing with that, actually.
It's not even because unfortunately I know there's a 1-drop rule, but this is
Not in this
you're
house.
Not,
Not in this house.
you're not in 1-drop. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Not in this house. There's
No.
not.
And the fact, like, when he was like, "Oh, I went to a library after I found out I was black."
You just went to a library, googled
black
black
books.
question mark.
I picked up whatever book you can. I'll be honest. The way he was talking made me terrified about like interracial relationships. Like we really got into this phase. The beginning of halfway through the year, we were having this whole black wife effect conversation, and now
I told you, and that black wife effect was scary, and now this
is
is
actually
in the same wheelhouse.
so scary.
But I think the scary thing about this is more to do with the fact that his dad. Do you know what I mean? At some point, someone was fully black,
Yeah.
had a child.
Yeah.
That child was mixed in ethnicity.
Yeah.
And then that kept happening.
Yeah.
And now we have Stephen.
Yeah. And
Right?
yeah.
The fact that Stephen's dad didn't know he was black is what, to me, is the scary thing. Because what has happened in your lineage
Yeah.
that they forgot
That's
that somebody was black once.
so. This makes me feel someone was a slave
Yeah,
or someone was a slave trader, and
probably both.
and some people are trying to cover that history.
Didn't that happen with a celebrity who did their Who Do You Think You Are? And found out that their like great grandma or great grandpa was white passing and had moved from the state that they were born in to somewhere else to basically live as a white person.
It sounds realistic, but I don't know who the celebrity is.
It's like it was an American celebrity.
White
And they were
celebrity.
a white celebrity who was like, oh, it all coming to me.
Yeah.
Who was like, oh.
If you know, please drop it down in the comments. 'Cause, yeah.
And in that scenario, because that's basically Stephen's
Yeah.
scenario, do you now go and change your bio on all of your accounts to Guardian flag and tell people that you're black? Like,
Please.
or do you continue to live your life as a white person? Because theoretically, you live your life as a white person. You always thought you were white. Finding out that your great grandma was black makes a difference to your life in what way? Now you're going to say the N-word. Like,
No,
what is it that you're going to do now?
I'm sorry, that is an interesting fact. That
Do you suddenly get rhythm?
No.
Like, it's not actually going to change your life in any way. Either you're going to look at stuff in your life already and be like, that makes sense now because I'm partly... Like, people are always telling me, why do you have an afro? And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. If not, your life is actually not going to change.
No.
Unless you're suddenly going to be connected to a whole side of your black family,
Yeah.
your life won't change.
No.
So, not that what does it matter, but like, it's just really interesting because like, what is race then?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? What is it that you're passing down to your child? It's
hard.
culture, it's language,
it's one of
this,
those
it's that.
things.
But if you're like 2 generations down the line, your family do not look anything like you. Move through the world as white people, and because they're like 2-3 generations removed from you, don't even culturally.
Yeah.
Then what did it mean to be a black person? What does it mean to be a black person? What does it mean to be any person of any race?
I think all you can do is just
It is probably scary.
It is scary, but I think what you can do is just appreciate like my heritage is wide. My immediate family, i.e. your generation just above you, is white or white passing or majority white. That's my culture. But I also understand that in my wider generation, the generations above that, there are all other cultures, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be going to the Black History Month event, but like, it doesn't mean.
So then, what is the point?
I think
what is the point?
You keep that as like fun facts when you are sharing that with your wife only. That's all you could do.
Like, I don't know. It's
Unless,
really sad.
That's the thing.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
For his dad to go his entire life thinking he was Italian. How does that happen?
Yeah.
Unless you're adopted, how does that happen?
I think that, I mean, again, it's just, it must be something in the generations above, something being hidden in the history, perhaps. And also this is America, like, immigration, migration, everything is so messed up there. Or it's so mixed up. Especially when you go into the slavery years. Like, it's just...
What the slavery is. The slavery is.
What do you call it? The period of slavery is, I think it really changed the fabric of the country and also the generations after. But I have no idea. It's because it's an interesting fact about Stephen. And when he said he was part black, a lot of people were like,
Your
yeah.
eyes lighted up.
Huh?
Your eyes lit up.
No, it didn't. It just made me think, I can see it. Like, I literally was like, I can see it. I hate you so much. Anyway,
I didn't say nothing.
You don't have to.
I haven't said a damn thing.
You don't have to. I just feel like when he said it, I got it. But you're right. It doesn't change anything, unless you can cook good jollof. That's
what I'm saying. If your life is, if I'm not seeing the West African in the way that you cook and the way I would enjoy my life, then what's the point?
I just think, do you know what? If you want to embrace it, like, yeah, if you want to
like, I went to Scarborough once. Does that make a difference to our lives? No.
But I just think, look,
I lived in Italy for a week.
Yeah, if you find out, okay, your ancestors go all the way back to, I don't know, Spain. Like, yeah, maybe you'll be a bit more interested in the culture, but like, it doesn't mean that I'll be telling people I'm a Spaniard. Can you say that? Spanish?
Yeah, you can say Spanish.
Yeah, like I'm not going to tell you I'm a Spaniard. I'm just saying like, oh, actually, I was doing research into my ancestry, and actually, I have some roots here.
Cut to you in the club, say play Despacito. The language of my people.
Okay, you see, there's a fine line. I was saying this off the pod. There's a fine line between like moderately like embracing something and then overly embracing it and it becoming a red flag and an ick.
I think this is a TV show. I think actually genuinely, and then we'll talk about it. You take a family of white people,
yeah,
and they do their 23andMe, and they find out that they're actually like 10% black, and what that does to each member of that family. Because I'm telling you, this is a sitcom.
Do you think that it will make the son or daughter go and marry a black person and then the black back into the family?
I see that person suddenly slicking their hair back, being like, as a proud Jamaican,
oh my gosh. I'm sorry, you know what? You know there's some shows that like didn't stand the test of time, i.e. like it just was so problematic. Like it's so problematic now, but years before it was acceptable, i.e. something like Little Britain. I don't think we're ready yet to accept.
No, we're ready. No, I actually think, guys, we should do this. Make this a movie.
Maybe do you know what? I think it's more movie.
Because actually, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I genuinely don't know what the right response to that information
neither do I.
should be. And also, I'm thinking about this ancestor who's just like, damn, I've really not one of you. So you're telling me you guys, and then you just married, and then, wow, does anybody?
But Mum, you did that. You went to you had a white man.
You know what?
Well, you went with a white man, so why should I?
Not what?
Why should I go black?
Not what? Hey. Oh my god. I'm just thinking.
There's a lot of
all of your ancestors turning in their graves. What have you done?
Dr. Umar Johnson, that's what he will be able to fill the day with this conversation. I get it. Like I understand. Like yes, there is a chance that you could eventually change the fabric and ethnicity of your whole ancestry by stepping outside your race. That's why some people are so against it. But you love who you love, and that's the most important thing.
No, I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying the most. You're never looking. You never get to see four generations ahead of you.
But even if you look 4 generations ahead, regardless if you're white, black, Asian, whatever, you are still my child, and I love you. That is it. What's that?
How do you know that? How do you know that 4 generations down the line they're not doing, what was that, January 6th?
Oh yeah.
Unaware of the fact that they're black. They're at the place being like, and I've got another thing to tell those ratchets.
That's when I was
the ghost come back from the
ghost to be like, Wagwan.
I think you're Jamaican now. You're like, I'll come back from the.
No, like, you've been doing January 6th, but not knowing that you are black.
That's when my ghost comes back. When they get home, I'll be sat on their favourite armchair, creak, like they're in a horror movie. Guess what, bitch? You're black. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not leaving this house until this entire place Kente on every window.
Oh my gosh.
You are going to throw a birthday party to end all birthday parties. I want to see Supermodel on every table.
Oh my gosh.
Chin Chin on every table. I want a station for food. I want a station for Kenke. What the hell? Wache for everybody. A selection of Ghanaian jollof, selection of Nigerian jollof. What do cross neighbourly bonds?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm aware of the fact that you're going to do that as a person with a white face. But you need to let people know that you're black.
But that's the thing. Oh my gosh, I'm actually terrified.
What makes you... Because listen, that's what it comes down to. What makes you black? If what makes you black is the way that you look, you, sir, are not black.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like you should just...
So you walking into black spaces going, listen, well, my great-grandma... You know everybody in that room is going to be rolling their eyes. Here we go again. A person who moves through the world as a white person wants to tell me, well, I should get to come to the Black History event and I should actually be the key speaker because I'm actually 1/6 black.
I don't know.
Naming you when they're doing that stuff. My great-grandmother, Shoshana... didn't die.
Don't drag me into
in slavery for this. Like, I was never a slave.
Yeah, please. Hello.
Excuse me. It's 2024. Your grandmother was not a slave.
Honestly, I really don't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. It's just I just don't know.
We are so off topic. Stephen tried to fuck someone else.
And it was done. And
got caught.
And then it was kaput, and it was done. And,
didn't have. He also. It was really pathetic. Sorry, the best part about that scene was Garrett and Taylor and Monica talking about it. And then the camera pans up and Stephen's just in the kitchen. He's just in the kitchen listening to them talking shit about him. It was so funny. I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
And he just looked like a poor poppy, but I was also like,
deer in headlights,
stupid, but also so dumb.
Shuffling about in the kitchen,
trying to pack all his stuff. Like, get out of here, fam.
He comes up to her, he's like, "You're right. What I've done is disgusting."
No, he didn't want him to get married. He didn't. Like, he purposely did it, and I think, unfortunately, like. I'm keen to see what he's going to say at the reunion.
He's going to say, listen, that woman lied on me.
No, I think he's going to say he's got a sex addiction. I do think he's going to say that. Because I saw him on Instagram and...
asking for girls.
No, he was there, like, on his Instagram feed, it's him, like, with his dog and him just, like, painting models. So...
What models?
Like, no, like, you know, like, they're all, like, figure models, like...
Yeah, a baby.
Yeah, not like, no, models. So those are all the couples of Love is Blind Series 7.
It was cursed. It's a cursed show. It was
such, like...
I would say if you haven't seen it, give it a miss.
You could give this on a miss.
I know we've probably made it sound very exciting and drama heavy. Honestly, it was just so jarring to watch. Yeah. Like, the drama it's not smooth. It's just like sitting in a car that keeps stalling is what the experience of watching the season was for me.
Very, like, overpacked episodes, terrible editing, like, no context, leaving your viewers so lost. Also, letting them bow out quite easily. Yeah.
Because if you remember the conversation last season with the girlie who said Megan Fox,
Jimmy and Chelsea.
afterwards, I think Jimmy says, or Chelsea says, I can't remember, I think it was Jimmy, was like, they would not let us leave before the wedding.
Yeah.
So that conversation that they have was the first time that he was able to say, I don't want to get married to you, right?
Because they left just before the wedding.
They left just before the wedding. This season, you've been able to bow out whenever you feel like it.
Do you know why? Because I think there's too many couples. There were actually too many couples.
But you lost like 5.
You did. Yeah, for 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Two people got married.
2 people got married. 1 person got nicked before the honeymoons. Like, that's...
Yeah, didn't even make it to the honeymoon.
Didn't make it to the honeymoons.
Everybody else...
Dipped
before their wedding.
Yeah. And, like, we always expect a dropout or 2. Like, usually 1 at the honeymoon and usually 1 just before the weddings. But, like, it felt like it was, like, almost every episode was like, who's next?
Honestly.
Who's next?
Who's next? And what random reason are they going to break up with?
The Marissa and Ramsey's one did throw me off. Because I was just like... there was just no signs in the lead up. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry, the military conversation and the birth control conversation, they were potential red flags, but
not like enough to end the... Yeah.
And I still felt like they were both in it. Like, Ramsey was giving reassurance. Marissa is still relatively woo-woo. Like, I was like, okay, we seem to be good. So, yeah. But after that one ended, I said, this is a poor season. And I think it really... The quality of the season really correlates to how many weddings they ended up with, because that Lydia and Milton season, one of the worst. This one's right up next to it. Even the season, like with all 3 weddings, even though it was like a crazy season, it was still a good season. Like, we had 3 weddings from there, and they're still together. Not my favourite, but like still a decent season, and it had a lot of things that we could talk about. But yeah, I think they need to go to the drawing board.
Maybe take a year off.
100%.
Maybe it's just not working.
Yeah, focus on the other international formats. They're doing well. They're doing their thing.
There are too many people. Yeah, I don't know about whether it's a vetting thing. I don't know if it's just like you're only getting people coming to this who want to be on TV and are not really interested in getting married. But even as we were sitting here and I was thinking about it, Lauren and Cameron, Barnett and Amber were a fluke. Every couple that ends up together and stays together is a fluke, because actually the experiment doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work, because if you really, really wanted to get married, why would you come on a television show?
Exactly. They all keep saying it's my last chance.
Yeah, they always say that. Like, what do you mean?
I mean, perfectly honest, we've talked about this. Like, the dating apps are in the toilets. Not many people are meeting people outside. There's a whole idea, especially I've heard about like dating in big cities like New York, where it's like almost people just use people like a
revolving door.
Yeah, revolving door. So like you always feel like you have choice, and so it's hard for people to settle down. So maybe for them, it's like the last resort is Love Is Blind.
No, the last resort is go to church. Last resort is
get
an arranged marriage. Last resort is ask a friend to set you up. Like, there are several steps. I don't believe that the only step is going onto television, a television show like created for entertainment, and thinking that you are. And not only that, but also that for this to work, you need to know exactly what you want, like a Cameron. You need to be incredibly self-aware, like a Lauren. And that is just not possible to find, because they honestly weren't great TV.
No. Lauren and Karen, no.
What was great about them is that they fell in love. That's what made their story really compelling. But the two of them are not characters.
No, Barney and Amber were more characters.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, including myself, didn't think they would be speaking about them today, celebrating them on their baby and their wedding and their marriage. Like, a lot of us didn't believe it. So you're right, they were a fluke. Brett and Tiffany, another couple, real fluke.
All of them, all of the ones that have made it are a fluke. They've made it despite the show, not because of the show. And
I think the people that are going on, of course, you've seen the fame that happened with this show after, it's one of the most popular dating shows in the world, and definitely the most popular on Netflix. Like, you know what you're getting with this show, and I just think that people are here for different reasons. And it's disappointing because with this season, I thought a lot of the contestants are actually a lot older. Like, sorry, when I say older, I mean they're just in their late 20s, late 20s into their late 30s. So I really was like, okay, there seems to be I would expect some level of maturity, but actually there's a lot of people who didn't know what they want and were not ready to get married. and definitely not ready to be on this show. So,
what
ratings? Reunion predictions? There's nothing.
No, let's just see how it plays. I have no predictions because I just think this season is a bit of a toilet water season.
Do you want to rate it after we see the reunion, or do you want to just rate it now?
Yeah, we can update after the reunion.
Okay, we'll come back.
But right now, my rate would be like a 2. Actually, wait,
2
out of 5, 1.
Oh, I thought I was doing 2.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't.
2 for the number of
couples
that
enjoy the experience of watching it this season.
No.
And usually, I'm never thinking like, whoa, the edit's really weird. Whoa, the episodes are really long. What, like, just why are we missing so much?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember this season where they even in the reunion showed us footage of the famous meeting that led to the 2 people not getting married in the end? And this is gonna if they get to reunion and they play all the footage that we missed.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
Just to put it in the episode. Okay, should we do a quick catch up about MAFS?
Let's do a really quick update. So, where we are since our last review, and thank you to all the new viewers that took a watch. If you're loving what you're hearing, make sure you subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Yeah,
we're hungry.
I mean, we are. We're thirsty for good shows, and more.
I did not say any of that. I said we're hungry.
Some girls are thirsty for Steven. From Love Is Blind, not from MAFS. Goodness me, Steven's having a good rap. Steven, there's Alex. Yeah, so where we got to from when we did our first review to now is that there were 3 more couples brought into the experiment.
Yes.
So that was Hannah and Steven, Shannon and
Ryan,
and
Luke
and Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke is a big guy. Yeah. So yeah, they joined the experiment about halfway through, or just before halfway through, and they brought fire and excitement. I mean, particularly Steven and Hannah.
Yeah. Steven, I don't know. Oh, he's played football.
And he's got 4 kids.
He's played football and he's got 4 kids.
Hannah,
I don't know, something to do with horses. I honestly don't care.
new couples. I'm just gonna. Oh, God. So we're gonna try, because I remember like Ryan is a bin man.
Yeah.
I remember that Shannon.
I don't think their jobs are important.
No, it's not. Yeah, we don't need to. And Luke is from Malta, and I was like, I need to go to Malta.
Everyone who's watching in my office has been like, Luke is kind of doing something for me. Luke
is too big. He's too.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, his body is too big.
Luke is Luke's personality. Like, Luke is a really interesting. Yeah. I'm glad they got him on the show because I actually think he's the only man with a personality on the show. True. All the rest of the men, their personalities are, I hate my wife, which is not a personality.
But is it because he's lucky because his wife is like?
No, I think the way that he speaks is just like genuinely entertaining. I like the way that he sees the world. It's funny.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I was gonna say easy on the eye, but I actually think he looks really weird.
He does.
He kind of has like the face of like he gives. Do you know?
Cartoony. I don't know. Like,
have you seen the Scooby Doo film?
I have. Which one? There's others like.
I think you know the one where Scrappy Doo is the villain.
Yes, I've watched that one.
And then there's like a bit where he's like kind of hench. That's what he reminds me of. Just like he's got like a very like a puppy like innocence.
Yeah, he does.
And genuineness and sincerity to him. But he's also so jacked.
Yeah, that's what it is, because also he's so jacked, his head looks small.
Yeah, tiny.
So.
And his face feels a lot more youthful than his body does. It's just all there's a lot going on. Literally.
That's the thing. I feel like going back to like physiques, Nick is too skinny. Stephen is okay. Like,
I'm bringing up this man again. Stop mentioning this man.
And Luke is too big. Maybe Stephen is like the gold. No, actually, Stephen is not the Goldilocks. So he's a bit doughy.
He could be a bit more toned for you.
He could be a bit more. So
Stephen's given Casper.
Casper who? Oh.
Or MAFS. Like, they probably have a similar physique. They probably have a similar physique.
Oh my gosh.
So just say you want to go on it, Casper. That's right.
No, I don't want to be with Casper. Thank you.
It's because he's not black.
Shut up.
If Casper was black, if Casper said I have 1 6 back, somebody would be like, oh, Casper.
Shut up. So yeah, but you know what? Luke does seem, even though he is a bit over affectionate, which to me, I understood why Amy started to get a bit of ick. At the wedding.
Yeah, at the beginning I was like,
too much.
Oh, get me out of here.
Yeah, it was almost like when he's kissing her hand and going, yes, baby. I was like, calm down, fam.
Sorry, what was your impression of him?
Come on, baby. I can't even say, come on, baby. Well, with a Maltese accent.
I hate that.
It just was so like, it gave me like not even the uncles, the creepy guys
in the glove. I was thumbs down for him, but he is actually grown on me.
Same. When he said, so they all had a retreat.
What were you gonna say when he said on the couch, when they're like, have you guys been intimate? I made love to my wife. Not sex. I made love.
That was hilarious. Also, when he told
every time he talked, if I was her, I would literally just like, shut up, please.
Yeah, he is cringe. But when he said to Amy, like, this whole retreat was supposed to be for us, and because Hannah was here and we were talking about her, it's drained me so much. And I was like, do you know what? He's not lying, because Hannah was draining, and because Amy kept on going to her rescue. Like, she wasn't spending time with her husband.
But he was like, I felt like the third wheel. I was a janitor. His command of the English language is actually far more superior than, I would say, all of the men out that. Nobody has said anything as eloquently as Luke has.
He has studied the book of Nigerian men.
They got me in here feeling like the bloody janitor.
No, honestly. But it's true. And the thing is, Hannah and Stephen's relationship has combusted almost 4 different relationships. Go on. Honestly. Why are you winking?
Because I'm just like, they came in there, they said, we're gonna wreck shit. We're gonna wreck this whole place.
By the wrecking of their own relationship, they're wrecked for others. Is there a ripple effect? So Hannah and Stephen, on their honeymoon, their wedding seemed very sweet. They seem to be really vibing. They have a very kind of spicy personality between the two of them are just spicy individuals. I don't know why I said the word spicy, but like hotheads. The
thing is, he was like, I'm not a hothead.
Yeah,
but and I don't think
he doesn't realise what a hothead actually means.
Yeah, and I also think he's one of those guys who's like, yeah, I'm asked for someone who's a bit spunky, whatever the hell. And it's like, you're gonna get someone, and you're not gonna like it.
No, because you can't handle it.
Yeah.
So then on the honeymoon, they started bickering already. Then they had a serious argument.
She didn't want to go to dinner.
Yeah.
She wanted to go. She was like, can we go somewhere? Basically, essentially, she was like, let's go somewhere where there's a bar.
Yeah.
Because I'm not ready to eat yet. And he was like, you've made the whole honeymoon about you. This whole time, it's the Hannah show. And then he said something about her. And she was like, we talked about that in private. Yeah. We said we wouldn't talk about that on camera. And you just mentioned it. Would you like it if I mentioned something that you said off camera? And he was like, I can't believe that she would do that to me. But you literally just did it to her.
True.
This whole time he's been acting like a victim. Oh, Hannah broke my trust. You did it first.
Yeah, literally.
And I know it's not tit for tat and all of that stuff, but don't light a match and then be surprised that there's fire.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No. And what surprised me, what makes me question is, what exactly is he hiding?
Literally.
Because
he's guy... Like, I told her something about my kids, it sounded like.
Maybe, yeah. Because he could not drop it. And the girl didn't say anything.
One of them's not his.
Maybe,
that's what's given.
Yeah.
Because he seemed terrified that thing would come out. It would like ruin his life if it came out. So,
like the fact that, and it's all alleged, we have no idea, but like the fact that he could not let it go, even when the girl apologized profusely, like saying, I wasn't gonna say anything. Mind you, we've seen Hannah the way she fights. She probably could have.
I don't think she would have. Because she could have said it, she didn't.
Actually, yeah, she could have said it.
I don't think she would have. Yeah. I think she was hurt. I think she felt like the things that we discussed and said we would be off limits, you're now bringing up. Yeah. So is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're doing and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to protect myself if it feels like I've told you secret stuff and you're just going to blare it out to other people.
Yeah, no, she's quick to defend. Like, she's quite defensive. Yeah. But also, if she's going to be attacked, she's going to put her walls up. But I think the whole time, Hannah apologised multiple times, profusely, to the point even that the guys were telling Stephen, please, like, resolve it. Like,
you
it's
don't
fine.
like her.
Yeah, true.
That's the truth.
That's the point.
Like
and
her.
he said I couldn't forgive her. He said no on the first week. Then, but then Hannah said, "Oh, I'm still in love with him." Partly because she admitted that she slept with him during the honeymoon, and she doesn't really sleep with men often, or she doesn't connect so quickly with men. So we thought, okay, let's give them another chance. The retreat, they had another argument, and you could just tell it was all underlining. Like he just does not like her.
Yeah. Oh, I heard you said you wanted to hold Orsa's hand to let me make me jealous, so I'm gonna move out. Like, you was never gonna stay in there.
No, you weren't.
You was never gonna
you
stay
were
in
gonna
there.
find any excuse
And
to
then
move out.
for you to be like, if Ryan don't come, I'm gonna move to his girl.
When I said the
And then
hypocrite,
after you've been being like, how dare she talk to men?
that I'm telling you, one of my favorite moments in the last couple of episodes is on the commitment ceremony.
Ryan's like, that's karma.
That's karma. I'm telling you.
It's not nice, is
It's
it?
not. Oh, when I'm telling you, I rewinded that. I was
giggling.
You
And that
honest-
was making me giggling and kick my feet
I
up.
was kicking my feet. I was like,
Get him!
I was
Get
like,
him, Jade!
Ryan? Oh, is that like? Oh,
Get her, Jade.
yeah. I
That
mean,
is literally.
it scared me a little because, like, well, is if you had an argument with him and something happened, he'd be like, got your lip backs. Karma.
What you need to know is, even if 15 years from now, I will guess my revenge.
Yes. I mean,
God.
and do you know what? He had every right to, because, like,
It was very dirty of him
it
to
was
say that.
so dirty. Even the
I've
way,
not come one day, you're like, I'm going to move to your girl.
because she's so, totally my type, and Shannon, for all her whispers, she was like, no, absolutely not my type.
I don't like him.
He's 100% not my type. You should be moving to Polly, because Polly said that she'll twist for you.
You don't like Polly.
You do not like Polly.
This is the thing. You come on the show. This is what I mean. These dating shows don't work.
Yeah.
You come on the show saying I'm ready to stop making decisions based on looks and try and find someone based on feelings, and then spend the whole time being like, I didn't get what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted someone who looked like this.
X,
He
Y, Z.
saw Shannon. She said, that's my type. So now I'm looking in on that. I'm not really interested in anything else, including the person who said, oh, I like you. I think you do have a good emotional question. He said, I don't give a fuck about that. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. I don't know with someone else, but let me in.
Yeah. So to me, that whole relationship combusted. Alongside that relationship with Hannah and Steven, Austin and Rochelle, they were already on thin ice from the honeymoon.
Rochelle said, I'm never going to get past the fact that you're an actor.
Yeah. And then the girls were saying, that this is where I was starting to get like, is there something to what she's saying? Because the girls were saying, oh, in all these, I'll be honest, antagonistic questions from the producers. They're not from the coaches or from the experts.
From the question box.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, which guy do you think is the most authentic, and which one do you think is the least authentic? And all the girls were saying Austin. So I was thinking, is it because of what they've been hearing from Rochelle, or do they actually think that Austin is not authentic? I would say that I think Austin probably he's a regular guy. I think he came here to find love, but I do feel that there's been times where he's acted like producer, like a producer on the show. Like, he would be asking questions, which is like to find out what's going on with the other couples, and I'm like, focus on your own. But then, mind you, Rochelle isn't there.
Yeah, there's something about Austin I didn't quite buy, and but I don't think he deserved the vitriol that Rochelle had for him from the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. Like, obviously, towards the end, she felt validated because he kissed Hannah.
Yeah.
Which, again, we didn't see.
Yeah.
To go off on him, but I think she would have done that regardless of whether he kissed Hannah. She was like, you didn't let me go home to see my daughter on her birthday, so you're gonna fucking get it, and that's that. That is that. I don't want to hear another peep out of your mouth. And it was weird. It was weird because I feel like even her being annoyed that you never said to me that you was upset, you don't let him talk.
No.
How was he? And the last time he tried to tell you how he felt, you said he was pathetic. So what did you expect?
Yeah, what do you want? And when he was moving to Hannah, which felt so obvious, but also like a desperate plea for like, I just want an experience. I didn't really feel that bad, because I was like, one, Hannah's been rejected from her person after she's begged and asked for forgiveness, and two, like, Rochelle has rejected this guy from day dot, like, from the reunion, from the honeymoon. So, like, I don't see a problem there, because like, he's technically single. What should you call him, a cretin? I've never heard of that term before.
Really?
No, I've never heard of. I had no idea what that meant. But is it like a really bad term?
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's
really
not great,
bad,
but like,
it's just
yeah.
like,
I mean, it's
calling someone a waste of space.
Yeah, but it was so demeaning, and for someone with her big age, there were so many things that were explained in her behavior as to why she is where she is.
Yeah, 100%.
I do feel like she has been hurt before. Like she had, like you said, that she had the same energy as Marissa's mum, and Marissa's mum talks about it. She went through a painful divorce with Marissa's dad. So, and she's seen bad relationships, and I think the same thing with Rochelle. She doesn't trust men, but if she doesn't trust men, she should not be married at first sight.
She doesn't trust men. Well, I don't know. If you do trust men, I don't think you should come married at first sight either.
Yeah.
I think you should try and find a man outside of this thing, because it will make you not trust men.
True.
But I think I was talking to someone about this yesterday. I was like, there is a certain demographic. Well, I think it's what we were talking about earlier about like status and like the kind of person you have to be when you've been on your own for a really long time, and on top of that, you've been on your own raising a child as well, and that sense of self that you have and autonomy, you don't want to give up. Really, that's what you're pushing against. So creating those like the criteria to be like, you need to show me all the right kind of man for me to give up. It's always going to be unachievable. You're never going to find that man. Specifically so you don't ever have to give up control. Yeah. And even if you did find the right man, because you can't give up control, you wouldn't get that man anyway. And I don't know what the right man would be for her, because I just think...
He's not on that show at all.
A lot, she needs to do a bit... She needs to... There's a lot of behaviours that need to be unlearned, and she's at an age where she's not lucky, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
And... Maybe
this experience will humble her, but I also don't think it will.
I feel like she felt very smug in her takedown of Orson. That made her feel like, yes, this is who I am.
And I do feel like, especially on the couch, where she was really laying in, like she was saying horrible things in the confessionals, but the couch, that could have been checked. Like, yes,
they just let her run her mouth.
Yeah, and it was really...
And they focused on, well, he kissed Hannah. Sorry, if my partner spoke about me the way that she speaks about him...
Yes.
I might kiss someone else.
Yeah.
They're like, but the sanctity of the experiment. Sanctity of the experiment. This is an abusive relationship.
Yeah, come on. The sanctity of the experiment would mean that you wouldn't be asking some of these wild questions.
There are two people in abusive relationships right now.
Yeah.
Rochelle and Orson and Alex and Holly. And you are just allowing that to continue.
The Alex and Holly part, that, like, it really... I do not like Alex. His behaviour... And I'm going off behaviour alone. I'm talking about looks. His behaviour comes across as so abusive, not just to Holly, but to all the other women in the experiment.
Like, I've said this before. He's so immature. Like, he's so immature that in every situation, the goal is to be right and not to listen. And because the goal is to be right, he will stop. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is sacred to him, right? He argues like a teenage boy would argue. He argues like a child would argue. I've got nothing to lose apart from winning.
Yeah. Like, I will use every single insecurity and throw that in your face.
Yeah.
Like when he was telling Polly, oh, your man don't like you.
Your man don't like you.
Your man don't find you attractive.
Yeah.
You have to beg him to sleep with you.
I mean, you knew that would hurt her.
Yeah.
And you then turn around and say, so don't compare my relationship to other people, but you've just done the same thing to her. Like, the two of you are like...
That's the thing. The two of them are actually one and the same. Like,
yes, 100%.
But, like...
Because she gave it a good... And then got home and started crying. Everyone was telling you, stop.
And you
kept going.
And the thing is that the Sasha and Ross thing... Sasha, I could... In the commitment ceremony, I could tell her frustration with Alex. And I knew that
she was trying really hard to hold it in.
So hard to hold it in. Because I know, like, what Sasha said is what everyone is thinking. And all the men should really be checking him, but no one wants to.
They're scared.
They're scared. The episode that's coming up, Ross is going to make a move. Because also, Alex is starting to take the piss. But also, like, Sasha is just like, I'm so fed up of seeing
What is he even still doing there if Holly's not there?
Same.
I was so confused.
Yeah, because I think they've given the impression, because I think she's going to come back, that she's only taken a momentary break because of the kids. So she will be back. But then if she's not...
But you don't... I need to rethink my marriage. She said that.
Yeah, so that means you need to both go.
Said, Alex and I are not good right now. I need to take a break from this.
And also, like, the producers are terrible because, like, we all see this. They've not been good since the day dot. Like, I don't know.
Also, yeah, what is it about now that they're allowing her to go? Because it's also not fair.
No, it's true.
There are lots of people with children.
Yeah.
Ross has a child. He's not seeing his child while he's here. How come she gets to go home and the rest of us are still locked in this nightmare scenario?
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair. I think if Rochelle had been allowed to go home, which, to be fair, she did go for a bit, and come back as she pleased, she probably would have stayed married to Orson.
True.
Because I think it's a claustrophobic space where you're stuck with someone that you realise every single day you don't know and you've agreed to marry.
Yeah.
That would make me mad. What have I done? What have I actually, what have I done? And I can't even be like, well, I'm going to work. I'm stuck here with you all day, every day. Like, Love is Blind, they at least get to go do stuff during the day. You're just here all day with this person. I don't think that's fair.
No, I don't think
that's fair. I actually feel like if you say you're going to want to go home and see your kids, that's it. You're off the experiment. You're off.
Yeah. I mean,
unless something has happened and they're like, we're giving you leave to go home because something has happened at home that you need to be at, I don't think you should get to say, I'm sad and I want to go home, but I'll come back in a couple of days.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is. I still don't understand why he's there. But again, we all know like he left his military post. I think he was in the...
AWOL. He went AWOL.
He went AWOL. So him going back, it's not like he's running to go back, let's be honest. But
he can go back. You can't desert your post.
Is that... Yeah, well, when he goes back, he's going to jail. Or he went back to jail.
Court-martialed,
yeah. But I don't know. I'm tired of seeing Alex on my screen.
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is reprehensible.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why I've stopped finding him like genuinely scary is because I can just see, like, it is just so steeped in immaturity.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, right, is how and why. What it is that Holly finds attractive about him, because he actually can't even go a full day without behaving in that way. He speaks to women disgustingly, speaks to Holly disgustingly. Nobody calls him out. The people on the couch barely call him out. One time they told him about his non-verbal
behaviour, like,
which is also again petulant child.
Yeah. Well,
but he was not making any efforts to be different. Get him off the show.
Because when
he's not trying.
When he was arguing with Polly and just watching them wind up and then start smiling at them, I literally wanted to punch his face.
Scary.
It's actually terrifying. So I don't know. Even when
which is such a little boy behaviour, pulling people's pigtails. Yeah, that's what it is.
And the only time when he seems to have like redeeming factors is only because when Polly and Adam were arguing about the twisting, and Alex and Holly were there trying to like give advice, and that's the only time when Alex came across relatively mature. And then when he was saying, "Oh no, you shouldn't really be twisting," me thinking, wasn't that the Luxury party?
He was gonna do it.
Like, shut up, fam.
He's the biggest hypocrite, for real. And he never seems to remember anything that he's done or said.
And then if you do try and put him up on it, he'll be there fighting with you. Yeah. So it's just, I just don't like him on my screen. And then literally, as I was watching it, I was like, my heart was racing. I was like, I don't like this type of characters in general, in person, and definitely not on screen.
It is a hard. It's a hard watch. I found yesterday to be a hard watch.
It was.
I think the thing that made it hard is going back to Chivalry. There are bare men sat in this room right now. There are bare men sat in this room.
Not one saying, "Come," like
Alex. One of you saying, "Let's go outside."
Yeah.
You and me, let's just go outside, take a breath. This is not nice. Deep. You all just sat there.
Look at
your instincts are to tell Polly and Sasha to stop. Which is why he's the way he is, because people keep letting him get away with his behaviour. No, he needs to stop. Yeah. He needs to stop, period.
Yeah. So it's a no. And then Polly and Holly.
I can't stand Polly. And I can't stand Polly. I think she's turned out to be a real nightmare.
That day where she was there telling people to shut up. Like
from then on, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember thinking, why are you so stressed? Calm down. And then
the energy that she had for Hannah, who didn't try to steal your man, by the way, because nobody wants him.
No. But then was easily be like, I twisted your man.
she was like, yeah, you were exactly. She's like, you're right. She's exactly the same as Alex because she kept poking Hannah.
Yeah.
She wanted Hannah to blow up. That's what she wanted to do because you didn't need to say I'd twist with your man. You didn't need to.
No.
Every chance she got, she was like, I want to get to her. First of all, to be adult women and not realise that in a scenario where there are 3 or 4 of you yelling at one other person, it's creating a bullying environment. It's crazy. For you to have been bullied, made that such a big part of your personality, and then be sitting here perpetuating bullying behaviour to everybody else is just like pot kettle. The hurt people.
Yeah, cycle, yeah.
And then for you to continuously get in other people's business, continuously antagonise situations, and then have the audacity to be like, Alex really went for me, with none of the context of the fact that you was also going for him. I'm not trying to defend Alex at all, but if you know that this is not a person that you can have a sane conversation with,
leave him out. Leave him alone.
Why engage with him?
No,
and on the way to the retreat, you guys were just linking arms.
That's the thing, because I thought they were all body, but there's something about Polly. Okay, she asked him a question. He said, I don't know. Or like, he'll say something stupid. Then she'll keep on asking again and again. Then she'll say, do you actually understand what I'm saying? Like, really condescending.
She's constantly like that, yeah.
And I'm not trying to, like, again, Alex, his behaviour is vitriol. Like, I don't like him. But the way that Polly also speaks...
His behaviour is what?
What's the word vitriol mean? Vitriol?
Vitriol.
Oh, God, yeah. It's getting late. What's
vitriol? Is a noun. It's not an adjective. So his behaviour can't be vitriol. Vitriol is like when you say, like, vile things.
Okay, his behaviour is vile.
There you go.
Or rich.
The way he speaks is full of vitriol.
Yeah. Anyway, his behaviour is vile. Girl is late. His behaviour is vile, and he deserves people to come to him. But I want the men to come and stand up, and the men have to come all together because they're all terrified. Because in that room you had Kieran and Caspar. Like, none of these guys could stand up.
Go back to Hannah being like, I shouldn't have to tell you to throw the rubbish out. I didn't mind around rubbish. I shouldn't have to tell you to stand up for me. That's crazy.
When Sasha was like, but Ross, you were quiet.
My beef is your beef. I shouldn't have to tell you that.
No, even with Lacey, when he was there talking... Because that's what started it. He was there talking wild to Lacey. What's his face? What's her husband's name? Nathan. Quiet as a mouse.
Nathan wasn't in the room. So that's Nathan's difference.
I know that he was probably just...
I wasn't here.
Yeah.
I don't think it was he's scared of... He is not following the conversation.
I know.
He is always, I would say, 5 minutes behind what's going on.
I know.
He actually probably has a similar issue to Ross, even though he's not deaf. In that, like, he's not processing this at the rate that everybody else is, right? So by the time he's probably even clocked, hey man, that was not right. The thing's done.
Yeah, but then I mean, Ross is gonna come back and speak to him, but like, I just feel like I just wish that the men would come to Alex and speak to him and not be like, oh, hey, mate. No, speak to him honestly and say, look, you can't be speaking to women like that. Because I'm telling you now, I think Alex has never... People have not come to Alex and say, no, you can't be speaking to women like that.
No one would ever say that. That's
and especially not his parents or his mum. Like,
he would not be behaving like that.
When they positioned him like, oh, Alex is such a mama's boy. Like, so he
and that's why he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, we also have to acknowledge, for every trash man out there is a woman who will defend him.
To Kingdom Come. So yeah. So Polly's been a bully.
Acknowledge that you have created the situation that he's in.
Yeah.
Your son is trash because you have supported him to be that way. Because nobody is above reproach. And I bet you that same woman, her daughters, she would hold to a completely different standard.
Oh, 100. And you see it so many times. The women, the daughters get reprimanded. The boys are, what's the word? They're just like... They
can't do anything wrong.
No, they can't.
I would be beyond embarrassed.
Same.
I would rather... No, I'm just going to say something crazy. No, maybe I'll say it. I would rather my son would be sat on public transport and see a man speaking to a woman in that way and say, hey, don't speak to them like that. And then take that man's phone. I would be like, that's my boy.
Do you know what?
Because he understands.
We need more men like that. Going back to the beginning of this episode, where we talked about chivalry being dead. Consideration.
Because he would not speak to the boys like that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I know someone will be in the comments, but don't speak to... Actually, it's not about not speaking to him like that. It's about learning to not speaking to anyone like that. But he knows not to speak to men like that.
That's
he knows
silly.
not to speak
because
to
he
men
knows.
like that. And
let's be honest.
Sasha said that. And Polly said that. You don't ever pipe up for the boys like this. That's because the boys never call me out my name. Because they're scared of you.
I mean, honestly, Ross could take him any day of the week.
I honestly feel like, really,
Ollie.
if people wanted to scrap up to him, they could probably take him.
But do you know who I really wanted to get up to him? Sasha's dad.
Yeah.
Sasha's dad and mum. Because
they're going to see him in Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
He drove past him on his Land Rover.
That's what I mean, it's wild, like, the things he was saying.
He's like, you're above me, you can't drive. That's what I mean. He is 6 years
He
old.
He's a child. He's an actual child.
You're not better than me.
No.
You can't drive.
Yeah, he's a child. He's actually a child. So yeah, Holly and Polly, to them together, like two witches.
Literally,
it's
the
witches of the evil sisters. That's
Cinderella.
It. And you could
100%.
Yeah, you could see it with the way they were treating her to the point where I started to feel sorry for Hannah too.
Listen, Hannah's my girl. She
No,
was messy as fuck. I don't care.
Hannah was a lot.
Because even the things that they was mad at her. Oh, you touched someone's foot.
Yeah, I mean it was quite. I mean,
oh, you said Orson should hold your hand. Who cares?
Hannah is not a girl's girl.
But still, every single one of you, why is your relationship so fragile?
Yeah, they're all insecure. That's the thing.
Polly and Holly were shaking in their boots. Why? Because their relationship is so already on a knife's edge.
Yeah.
Hannah could have coughed in your man's direction, and that would have been a problem.
Yeah. So
Lacey at the salsa party has her legs wrapped around Adam, who has said from the beginning, Lacey's my type, Lacey's my type. Polly, quiet as a mouse.
So it's really interesting that some of the relationships have developed actually.
Meanwhile, Sasha's crying.
Yeah.
Because Ross has lent into her.
I was like, girl.
You guys need to get a grip.
All of them.
You need to get a grip.
Because Sasha, also Ross is spoiled.
I think Ross has spoiled Sasha. Because he has. Turned her into a bit of a brat.
He did, yeah. Because he has spoiled her a lot. Like, maybe that's a good thing. Men should be like that.
That's what you heard her say, you've been giving me princess treatment. You've been giving me princess treatment.
And now, boom.
I also will be collecting that princess treatment.
Yeah, yeah.
But honestly, let me rephrase that. I do love gifts. Gifts are like my love language. If I was pissed off at you and then you started throwing gifts at me, that's not actually
that's not. No.
Now I'm actually getting more vexed.
Actually, and gifts are not my love language. They're like the bottom, like the last one.
Right.
But I love giving gifts. So I think gifts are like my expression of love. Okay. But I don't want to receive them.
And what was the last gift you got me?
Myself. This tripod. It was
it wasn't a gift. It was a work expense. I just write that off of my taxes about this is a gift.
The gift was me.
Girl.
The gift was me.
Even broke dad turning up empty-handed to the birthday party. Hello, kids.
No, I mean, but no.
It's your boy.
Hold up. I'm not like giving gifts all the time. I'm just like I express on key occasions like birthdays and Christmas. I will give you a gift of my love. Like I listen to the things that you talk about and I use that to buy you a gift.
Okay, so what gift are you gonna buy me based on today?
Don't put me on the spot yet. I haven't thought about it.
No, and I can tell.
Wait.
Don't use these are your last two remaining bracelets.
Okay.
Don't rub them too close together.
I will get you a yellow fever vaccine.
You weren't listening because I had the vaccine. I just don't have the card.
I will get you a card.
Thanks.
And I'll laminate it for you.
Thank you. And I'll lose that immediately.
And then I'll put it into a designer passport holder with a space for the card. That's what I would do.
Okay.
And I think that's actually a really well thoughtful gift because it's a problem that you had. And I found a solution for it.
What you don't know, because Shoshana's edited it out, it took her 4 hours to think of that. We have been sat here for 4 hours.
Hold up, I'm trying to think, fam. Actually, I will get you a mobile briefcase box so that you can carry your things to your new office.
I've already done the move. Do you know what I would get you?
What?
I would get you a voucher for 23andMe, but I'm holding it on to it until you find your man, and then I'm going to give it to him. And then we'll see if he's what percentage black he is. Because I actually do feel like that would be a treat for you.
One.
That is a long con gift for you.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
My husband's black, so why is he
I'm still doing it.
Oh.
I'm still doing it because he might be mixed race.
But
We need to find out.
Well, I hate you.
We need to find out.
Oh my gosh.
We need to find out.
If you ever who knows if 23andMe will still exist, because they've been going through it at the moment.
Oh, they really? Are they really?
Is it 23andMe or there's the other couple? The other company.
Ancestry.com.
No, it's 23andMe. They're going through it. Their board all left all at the same time.
Is it going to be revealed that they lied about the results?
Maybe. So all these people are going, I'm black. Find out, bro, I'm actually Italian.
After all this I married a black woman for this. You lied to me.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, last one. Okay, I was happy that some of the couples were starting to develop.
Talked about Shannon and Ryan.
No, we didn't. I'll say. I will say this. I was excited some of the couples were like developing, i.e., Casper and
They're not.
Yeah, when they were about to kiss, I was cringing.
I actually fast forwarded.
My hands were behind on the top of my eyes. I didn't want to look at it, but I also wanted to really see it, but I didn't. But I did.
I couldn't watch it. It's giving Miranda.
Oh, I haven't watched it, but
the energy of Miranda, the sitcom Miranda, is what that couple gives me, and I could not watch a full episode of that show, and I cannot watch.
Yeah.
Even them having their sort of boring sorry, the one thing that stuck out to me of the two of them, at one point they were having a conversation about, we've had a good week, haven't we? Which is the conversation they wanted to have. It's breakfast time, and Casper has a board game out.
Yeah,
I was like, he's so fucking boring. And I'm a person who loves games, but it's breakfast time.
Yeah, but sometimes you need to stimulate your mind before breakfast.
Read a book. Before. A board game.
I know.
I didn't even game on your phone at least.
I didn't even notice that, but like, look, it's very clear. These are two friends.
They're not even friends.
And Emma is forcing it so hard.
She don't like that man. I said that from me. She don't like it.
Yeah, she don't like it, but also it's giving me like she doesn't like it, but she wants to stay in the experiment. Get off the show, fam.
I think both of them really think that this show has their best intentions at heart. Fools. That is the problem. They think that this show gives a heck about them, and it doesn't. The show is the show. If you don't like him, pack your shit and go.
Wish him all the best to find his farmer girl, and you go and buy your man.
And literally within a year, he'll probably found himself a farmer girl.
But Casper has no game.
No, I don't think Casper likes. I think he might be asexual. You need to think about it.
Do you feel?
No, because he doesn't like himself.
The last pod you said he may like black girls. This pod you're saying he's asexual.
I don't want him. I told you. I'm
Are you sure
about Casper?
Because when you said they like black girls, were you talking about yourself?
The more that I learn about Casper, the more I feel like I would like to apologise for black women everywhere for insinuating that it's our job to help Casper. Casper, you're on your own. I think you do not like. This is not me doing my classic. He doesn't like girls equals gay pipeline. I'm saying he doesn't like girls. He also doesn't like himself.
No, I think I
don't think he likes anything. I think he needs to do a bit of work on himself.
He does
because it's really giving. I came here hoping that you guys would help me figure out life.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows what he wants. And you can't be helped if you don't know what you want. Yeah. Like, these people are not going to help you. They're not here to actually help you. So it's not like you can come to them and go, listen, I'm going to be completely straight with you. I feel like this. Can you tell me what's going on? They are just going to tell you, try and hug your partner for 15 minutes.
This show is diabolical. This is diabolical. I don't know.
And that is why I always feel like when Charlene knocks on the door, pack it up.
When Austin and Michelle said, "We don't need you, Charlene." Well, look where they are now.
When Charlene says, "I'm here with my box of tricks," or "I'm here to do melting hug," go away.
No, because you don't like each other. But it worked with Polly and Adam. But I still think he will say no at the end.
That man don't like her.
He don't like her. He was like, "You wore me down so much. I'll sleep with you.
He literally has said that. He has said, I'm sick of being in trouble.
So I'll just sleep with you.
I'm just going to have sex with you.
Yeah. And then, as some couples were developing, some houses gone completely kaput. Shannon and Ryan. Was there something wrong with her voice?
Yeah, I think it's the veneers.
Oh, really? Because, oh my God, I was like, she's either got a constant cold or I can't hear what she's saying. No shades.
Maybe. Yeah, someone else had that as well. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something more serious. But
sorry if that's the case.
I wonder if it might be the veneers. If you don't get them done properly, then like, you know how Cardi B's like voice is different now that she's well, the way that she talks is different rather than like not her actual voice is different. But the one thing I wanted to mention about these two, which I was like, this show is going to hell. This show's going to hell. Ryan was diagnosed with bladder cancer in his early 20s, right? And it went away and then it came back and then it went away again. So he's been through a lot. Shannon's dad just died of cancer. And I shit you not, the experts were like, because of that.
Oh no, I didn't even...
They would be a good fit. And I remember watching that, I was like, this is actually the darkest thing you guys have ever done. If you know anything about what it's like to watch a parent die, slowly probably as well, because the thing about cancer is you don't find out you had cancer today and die tomorrow. Like, it's agonizing. For you to think, because you've seen that, it'd be a really good idea for you to be with someone who has experienced bouts of cancer, might experience it again. I was honestly like, that's so fucked up.
This I never actually thought about how sick that is.
And they try to dress it up as like, because she's like, you know, Ryan's had cancer, Shannon has experience with that, so she can be like, they can bond over that. And I was like, bond over what? Bond over suffering.
I always have to remember with this show, it's like the experts are not matching them, it's the producers. Like,
but even for that to come out of your mouth and be like, yeah, I feel comfortable and good about that. That feels like a good idea.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. Anyway, they meet. Ryan is handsome.
Yeah, he is.
He seems good vibes, but also kind of like, a bit of a playboy. He's got a kid.
Yeah.
He likes Shannon. Shannon likes him. They have a good honeymoon. They come to the pod. They come to the experiment proper. They have one issue. I think the first issue is the one where after the...
Was it during the retreat? Yeah.
He said something, she didn't hear him properly. He said something, she left. Or he left. And then they spent the day apart. She didn't know if he was going to come to the dinner party. He came to the dinner party.
Stephen was making his move.
In that time, Stephen was trying to make a move on his girl.
Diabolical.
He's then come up to him and said, "Hi mate, really missed you." Then Shannon's pulled him aside and said, "Stephen literally just tried to bull me." And then he's gone back and Stephen, you can see the guilt on Stephen's face was priceless.
Because he knew that he had said something to Holly, and what he was going to say.
And the way he said it to Holly,
it was a lot more.
So, then they're fine. They have this commitment ceremony. They're together again. Literally straight after that, they have another like couples day, and they don't come to the couples day. At the end of the day, Ryan goes to the boys, Shannon goes to the girls. It says, "We're leaving the experiment. We're not going to show you again," because it's either giving... I don't get why you wouldn't show it, because both of them have completely different versions that paint them as the victim. You could clean this up really easily.
By showing that's what happened. But I don't know if they have cameras. Like, when I say cameras in the apartments, I mean like freestanding cameras without the...
But you're mic'd up.
Yeah, this should be mic'd up, yeah.
You should be mic'd up, so there should be some
footage. But also, it gives potential... Could be more physical. Yeah.
I also am now thinking that about that whole Eve and Charlie situation. Did they show Eve outside of that room?
No.
They just showed Charlie hearing... Sorry, they just showed Charlie in the room.
Yeah. Oh, no, they did. They didn't show... Yeah, sorry. They didn't show Charlie eavesdropping.
Eve. It was Eve who was eavesdropping.
Sorry, it didn't show eavesdropping. Eavesdropping, but they did show the footage of when they opened the door, and the producer opened the door, and then Charlie saw Eve
stood out
yeah. So they showed like that kind of interaction.
So if you managed to get that footage,
yeah,
I would be seriously surprised that you don't have footage of any of that, any of that stuff.
I think the fact that the fact that they were announcing it to the girls and boys separately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that they didn't even wait until the commitment ceremony to write relief, I think of something more serious.
Yeah, it must have been something more serious. Again, you tell people that they can't leave, and then you have people leaving whenever they feel like it. I just think...
But also, I have a big question about vetting, and this is about Love is Blind, and this show is like, there is something that's off. Like...
Yeah.
Something is off in terms
Maybe
of people are not safe.
To vet people.
Yeah, because also you don't know what people's intentions are.
But you can really easily just be like, we're going to run a DBS check.
Some of these people are not even having... Yeah, that's true. They could do a DBS.
Because you have to ask permission to run a DBS check. If that person says no, they're not on the show. Yeah,
true. The DBS check, and then they should be doing that. What's the other one? Something law.
Yes.
Megan's... No, that's Megan's law. No, that was America. There's another law that they should be asking about, which is about people are under the...
Domestic violence?
Yeah.
And
I just think, honestly, they need to be doing that, because seeing behaviour...
Your DBS will come back with any charges that you have.
But what if they don't... Oh yeah, they'll have charges. If they have charges, they'll be on the thing. It's just like, seeing some of the behaviour of people like Alex, even Polly... that's overt. Then the more like, who knows what's going on with like some of the other couples, but it's actually quite worrying, because if Shannon's the victim, for instance, she could have felt really unsafe in that apartment.
Yeah.
And vice versa, if Ryan was a victim.
Why give them... And you guys would know. If you're filming this, you would know.
They would know.
Why would you allow the abuser a chance to tell their story in a different way if that was the case?
Yeah. But then I think about that season, is it 2 seasons ago, with that other guy who literally, they found out right at the end that he was abusing, what's his name? I can see his face. But that he was potentially an abuser, and then the Women's Action charity came up about it.
Oh yes, I remember you telling me this.
And I can't remember what his name was. Because it said the exact same thing about Alex.
I've just remembered as well that guy who went round to fight, to
fight that boy from last season?
Yeah.
And he got removed. Swift.
Yeah.
But they
have
the
that.
Yeah,
they showed that.
They show that. I don't know. Like we've had a lot of back-to-back dating shows. Like we've had Love is Blind UK, MAFS UK, this, blah blah blah. Like it's a lot at the moment.
What's this? I'm
watching The Golden Bachelorette, which is not... Honestly, I'm going to be honest, that is probably the most heartwarming show I'm watching from a dating perspective. However, one contestant has already been found out to have, two actually, to have had domestic restraining orders put against them.
Well, they've been alive for a long time.
They have, yeah, but these are like recent cases. So like, it's still worrying. These are 6-year-old men. Like, let's be for real. But it's the most
restraining order.
Yeah, it's the most.
What are you doing?
I know. Some of them are like stalking and stuff. Like, but to me, that show is the most like heartwarming series, dating show that I've watched at the moment, because at least they're all old and they're all just happy just to be there. They're happy that they're making friends with the other contestants.
I'm going to be honest. I will finish MAFS. I will finish Love is Blind, which is finished.
Yeah, and then take a break.
Yeah. I just don't think it's even helpful when you're out in the world trying to date to be watching something that just makes you think, oh, people are so fucked up. Yeah. And how are we supposed to do this thing called dating? Like, trust another person when there are people out here being weird as hell. Yeah. I also think someone was saying this, like, it's helpful shows like this because watching MAFS might be the first time that someone realises, if they're in a relationship similar to like Alex and Holly, that that's not the way that they should be treated. Yeah, true. And so I think it is important to show these kind of things, but I think a dating show or a show that is about love should always lock in a genuine love story.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I think this season of Love is Blind, they didn't do that.
No.
Like, yes, it's nice that Taylor and Garrett made it to the end, but I honestly think that, like, again, that was a fluke.
Yeah.
I don't think there's something about the format that needs to change.
No, I don't think it should change.
No, I'm saying I think there's something about the format that needs to change.
What do you think needs to change?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm just thinking, like, there is something about the format that, like, isn't working, and I wonder if it's like this idea that, like, coming on here is going to turn you into some sort of internet celebrity. Has that actually worked?
No,
who from a previous season are we living for?
Lauren and Cameron.
And I don't follow. No, I don't follow not a one person.
I think I follow both, but, like, perfectly honest, they're not the biggest stars at all. Even the two girlies that went from series 2 that decided to do a podcast, like, no one's, like, listening to it like that. Like,
yeah, like, it's just
it's not that big.
It's a platform, but it's not the platform.
I'll be perfectly honest, if I was doing vetting, I'll be, that's also scary, like, I'll be looking for people who are not on social media, but, like, that's but then also that is worrying, because if they're not on social media, what they do behind closed doors, it's like, that's the thing, creates so much.
But you also don't, like, I have a friend who's not on social media like that, and she's not a murderer. She's just not on social media.
No, sure, but it's... Yeah.
But I get what you mean. It's like, how are we going to be able to figure out, like, to investigate a person that we don't have any information on?
I don't know what the format is, or it needs to be, I don't know, like you need to increase the age range, but also there's even older people that are still acting like this. Like,
somebody had an idea that, like, the next season shouldn't be location based. It should be, like, people in STEM. Like, maybe that's an idea. It's like, the location thing isn't quite working anyway, because last season you ended up with two people who dated before. The same season,
which was bound to happen.
What if you said, well, I mean, I don't know if it would work for every industry. It's just because we were saying earlier that the science people do quite well on this.
That's a good idea, though.
That what if we did it that way? What if you got people who really cared about the environment and everyone, or a bunch of vegans, or a bunch of whatever?
Big question: would you want to date someone in the same industry? Oh, you said you would.
I would. I don't think that, because I actually don't think that's the most important thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
I could take it or leave it. If you had other things that I wanted in a partner, I'm not going to be upset just because you work at a rival production company to me. We'll just have to make sure that we have very clear boundaries in our home and what we bring home and what we don't bring home. But
so like similar interests, like
there'd be at least one thing that you can tick off your list. Unless you're dating, like, a person was like, oh, I work in this industry, but I actually hate it.
Yeah.
You can at least the vibing part will be there.
Yeah.
Then you can actually get past the whole, I'm just trying to be, like, cute and hot.
Yeah.
And ask the questions you need to ask.
That's true.
I don't know. It's an idea.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. But if you do have any great ideas, send them over.
Yeah.
I do think, we're probably going to go into some scripted series for after the Love is Blind and MAFS is done. So again, any recommendations, let us know. But next time we're going to chat about everything else we've been watching, and we'll keep you posted. So this has been Scripts and Giggles with Shoshana
and Marnie.
Bye.
Bye.